The cardiac monitor screams. Blood pools across the white tile floor, spreading faster than anyone can process. A young soldier, 23 at most, convulses on the gurney, his right leg shredded from something that doesn't belong in a civilian emergency room. His hand shoots out, grabs the wrist of the nearest person. Not a doctor, not a nurse with rank. Just her. The quiet one. The one nobody listens to. His pupils dilate, his lips move. Phantom. The word cuts through the chaos like a blade. Everyone stops. Doctors, nurses, security, because that word doesn't exist here. It belongs somewhere else, somewhere darker. And the woman he's looking at, small, unremarkable, always in the background, her face doesn't show confusion. It shows recognition. Stay with me. Watch this story unfold to the very end. Like this video, drop a comment with the city you're watching from so I can see how far this journey has traveled. The emergency room at Ashford General smells like disinfectant and panic. It always does on Friday nights, but tonight is different. Tonight the air feels electric, like the moment before lightning strikes. Mara Kincaid stands in the corner near the supply cart, restocking gauze for the third time in an hour. It's busy work, the kind they give to people they don't trust with real responsibility. She's been here 6 months, and in 6 months, no one has asked her opinion on a single case. Not once. Kincaid, move the crash cart to Bay 4, Dr. Richard Voss snaps without looking at her. He's the kind of man who wears his authority like cologne. Too much. Always. She nods. Doesn't argue. Never does. Across the room, 2 residents laugh about something on a phone. A nurse named Simmons rolls her eyes at Mara when their supervisor isn't looking, mouthing "errand girl" with a smirk. Mara's hands don't shake. They stopped shaking a long time ago. She's pushing the cart toward Bay 4 when the ambulance bay doors explode open. 2 paramedics sprint in with a gurney. The patient is young, male, covered in dust and blood. His right thigh is wrapped in a tourniquet that's already soaked through. His breathing is shallow, rapid. Trauma to the right femoral region, possible arterial involvement, the lead paramedic shouts. BP dropping fast, we need a surgeon now. Dr. Voss moves in, flanked by 2 residents. Mara steps back instinctively, but her eyes stay on the wound, on the tourniquet, on the placement. Something's wrong. Get me an ultrasound and prep for emergency vascular surgery, Voss orders. He's confident, always confident. Someone page Dr. Lentz. The residents scramble. Nurses swarm the gurney. Mara stays at the edge of the chaos, invisible as always, but she's watching. The tourniquet is too low. The angle of the shrapnel entry suggests a secondary bleed higher up, hidden, deeper. If they take him to surgery without addressing it first, he'll bleed out on the table in under 3 minutes. She knows because she's seen it before. 15 times, to be exact. The soldier's hand suddenly shoots out, grabbing the nearest wrist. It's hers. His fingers are cold, slick with blood, but his grip is iron. His eyes lock onto hers. Phantom. The word lands like a grenade. The room doesn't just quiet, it stops. Every face turns, every hand pauses mid-motion. Doctor. Voss stares at the soldier, then at Mara. What did he just say? Mara doesn't answer. She's staring at the soldier's face, and for the first time in 6 months, something shifts in her expression. Not fear, not confusion. Memory. Ma'am, step back, one of the residents says, reaching for her shoulder. But the soldier's grip tightens. His breath rattles. Captain, you're... His eyes roll back. The monitor flatlines for 2 seconds, then picks up again. Erratic, weak. Someone get her out of here, Voss barks. Security! Mara pulls her hand free slowly, carefully. She takes 1 step back. Her voice is quiet, almost too quiet to hear. His tourniquet is placed wrong. Voss doesn't even look at her. Excuse me? The tourniquet, Mara repeats, louder now. It's too low. There's a secondary bleed proximal to the femoral artery. You won't see it on imaging until he's already crashing. Voss turns fully now, his face tight with irritation. Miss Kincaid, I don't recall asking for your medical opinion. I'm giving it anyway. Simmons actually gasps. A resident's mouth falls open. No one talks to Dr. Voss like that. Not here. Not ever. You're a general nursing assistant, Voss says, his tone dripping condescension. You stock supplies. You do not diagnose. You do not question my calls. Do you understand me? Mara's jaw tightens. I understand that if you don't move that tourniquet and check for a proximal bleed in the next 90 seconds, he's going to die on this table. That's enough. Voss's voice cuts through the room like a whip. He looks at the security guard near the entrance. Daniels, escort her out. Now. The guard hesitates, glancing between them. Now, Voss repeats. Daniels steps forward. Ma'am, you need to leave. Mara doesn't move. Her eyes are on the monitor. The soldier's BP is still dropping. 70/40, 60/30. He's crashing, one of the residents says, alarm creeping into his voice. Then get her out so we can work, Voss snaps. Daniels reaches for Mara's arm. She pulls away gently, but firmly. Listen to me, she says, her voice steady. I've seen this injury before, multiple times. There's a fragment lodged in the deep fascia. It nicked the profunda femoris. You won't catch it on ultrasound because of the angle. If you transfer him to surgery without addressing it, he'll exsanguinate before you even open him up. Voss's face reddens. How dare you! The monitor alarm screams. The soldier convulses. His BP plummets to 50/20. He's coding! A nurse shouts. Start compressions, Voss yells. Where the hell is Lentz? Mara watches the chaos unfold. Watches the resident fumble the intubation. Watches the nurse miss the IV line twice. Watches the seconds tick away. And she makes a choice. She steps forward. Move. Voss spins on her. What did you just move? She doesn't yell. She doesn't have to. There's something in her voice now, something cold, absolute, inarguable. The resident steps back without thinking. Mara's hands move before anyone can stop her. She rips open the sterile pack on the crash cart, grabs a scalpel, cuts the old tourniquet away in one clean motion. What the hell are you doing? Voss lunges forward. She ignores him. Her fingers trace the wound edge, pressing lightly, reading the tissue like braille. She shifts the soldier's leg 5 degrees, exposing a swollen area just above the original tourniquet site. There. She presses a gauze pad directly over the hidden bleed, applies pressure with her forearm, and uses her free hand to apply a new tourniquet higher up, exactly where it needs to be. The bleeding slows, then stops. The monitor stops screaming. The soldier's BP climbs. 60/30, 70/40, 80/50. The room is dead silent. Mara doesn't look up. She's checking the distal pulse in his foot. Present, strong. She exhales slowly. Proximal bleed is controlled, she says quietly. You can take him to surgery now. No one moves. Dr. Voss stares at her like she's grown a second head. The resident who stepped back whispers, How did you... The soldier's eyes flutter open. He's weak, barely conscious, but he sees her. Captain, he breathes, you're alive. The words hit like a bomb. Simmons's phone is out, recording. A resident's jaw is literally hanging open. The security guard has forgotten entirely what he was supposed to be doing. Voss finds his voice. Captain, what is he talking about? Mara straightens slowly. Her hands are covered in blood. Her scrubs are soaked, but her face is calm. He's confused, she says evenly. Shock does that. No. The soldier's hand reaches for her again, weaker this time. No, you're... Phantom Company, 3rd Battalion. Someone sedate him, Voss snaps, but his voice wavers. Mara steps back, peeling off the gloves. He needs surgery, now, before the clot shifts. Don't you dare give me orders, Voss hisses, but there's no conviction in it. He's rattled. They all are. The doors burst open again. 2 more gurneys, 2 more soldiers. One missing an arm, the other with burns across half his torso. Mass casualty event, a paramedic shouts. Military convoy hit an IED on Route 40. We've got 5 more incoming. The ER erupts into motion, but Voss is frozen. The residents are panicking. No one here has handled military trauma, not real trauma, not like this. One of the new soldiers is seizing. The other is bleeding through the bandages faster than anyone can replace them. I need a vascular surgeon stat, a nurse yells. Lentz is in surgery for another hour, someone else shouts back. Then page someone from county. They're 20 minutes out. Mara stands in the center of the chaos, blood drying on her hands, watching it all fall apart. The burned soldier's monitor flatlines. Shit, 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 a resident stammers, fumbling with the defibrillator. Mara closes her eyes. Not again. She opens them. Everyone stop. Her voice isn't loud, but it cuts through the noise like a bell. Heads turn. She looks at Dr. Voss. You have two choices. You can keep pretending I'm just a supply clerk and watch these men die, or you can let me do what I was trained to do. Voss's face is ashen. You're not a doctor. No, Mara says quietly. I'm not. She meets his eyes. I'm better. The burned soldier's monitor screams again. The one missing an arm is going into shock. The first soldier, her soldier, is stable, but barely. Voss looks around the room, at the terrified residents, at the overwhelmed nurses, at the bodies piling up faster than anyone can handle. He looks back at Mara. What do you need? She doesn't hesitate. Two residents who can follow orders without question, a circulating nurse with steady hands, and everyone else stays out of my way. Simmons steps forward. I'll do it. The resident who stepped back earlier raises his hand. Me too. Mara nods. Good. Simmons, get me a central line kit and 2 units of O-neg. You, she points at the resident, start bagging the burn victim. Rate of 15. Don't stop until I tell you. They move instantly. She turns to the soldier missing an arm. Tourniquet? Applied on scene, a paramedic answers. Mara checks it. Too tight. Tissue is already necrotic at the edges. She loosens it slightly, adjusts the angle. Get him on pressors and prep for amputation revision. If Lentz isn't here in 10 minutes, I'll do it myself. The paramedic blinks. You can't... She looks at him. Just looks. He shuts up. She moves to the burn victim. The resident is bagging him, but his rhythm is off. She puts her hand over his. Slower. Like this. He adjusts. The patient's oxygen saturation climbs. Simmons, I need fluids running wide open and burn dressings. Skip the sterile protocol. We don't have time. Copy. Mara works. She doesn't think, doesn't second guess. Her hands move like they're remembering something her mind tried to forget. 5 minutes pass. The burn victim stabilizes. The amputee's bleeding slows. The first soldier is prepped and ready for transfer. The ER is still chaos, but it's controlled chaos now. Organized, precise. Dr. Voss stands at the edge of the room, watching. He's not moving, not helping, just watching. Because for the first time in his career, Richard Voss is completely, utterly useless. And he knows it. 2 more soldiers arrive, then 3 more, then another 4. Mara doesn't stop. She moves from gurney to gurney, calling out orders, adjusting IVs, repositioning tourniquets, reading wounds like sheet music. Simmons keeps up. Barely. How do you know all this? Mara doesn't answer. She's focused on a chest wound, packing it with gauze, compressing it with just the right amount of pressure. Kincaid. It's Voss. His voice is quieter now. Where did you learn this? She doesn't look at him. Doesn't matter. It does to me. She ties off a suture, moves to the next patient. I told you, I've seen it before. Where? She pauses. Just for a second. Her hands still. Kandahar. Mosul. Ramadi. She meets his eyes. Take your pick. The room goes quiet again. One of the residents whispers, You were deployed? Mara doesn't answer. She's already moving to the next soldier. But Simmons is staring at her like she's seeing her for the first time. How many tours? 6. Jesus Christ. He wasn't there, Mara says flatly. Trust me. She works for another hour, straight through, no breaks, no hesitation. By the time the trauma surgeons from county arrive, every single patient is stable. Not one has died. Not one. Dr. Lentz, a gray-haired woman with 30 years of experience, walks through the ER, checking vitals, reviewing charts. She stops at the first soldier's bedside, looks at the tourniquet placement, the controlled bleed. the pristine sutures. She turns to Voss. Who did this? Voss doesn't answer. Lentz looks around the room. I'm serious. Who performed this field stabilization? Simmons raises her hand slowly. She did. Lentz follows her gaze to Mara, who's sitting on the floor in the corner, back against the wall, eyes closed. Her scrubs are drenched in blood. Her hands are shaking now, just barely. Lentz walks over, crouches down. What's your name? Mara opens her eyes. Kincaid. Mara Kincaid? She nods. Lentz studies her for a long moment. Then she smiles. Not condescending, not polite, genuine. I couldn't have done better myself. Mara's throat tightens. She looks away. Lentz stands, turns to Voss. I want her on my trauma team, effective immediately. Voss's face goes pale. She's not credentialed, then credential her, Lentz snaps. I don't care if you have to call the board at midnight. That woman just saved 9 lives with field supplies and a crash cart. I've seen surgeons with 20 years of experience do worse. She walks away, already on her phone. The ER slowly empties. Patients are transferred. Residents drift off to other floors. The chaos fades. Mara stays on the floor. Simmons sits down next to her. Why didn't you tell anyone? Tell them what? That you did? That I was a combat medic? Mara's voice is hollow. Would it have mattered? Simmons thinks about it. Yeah, it would have. No, Mara says quietly. It wouldn't, because the moment I tell people what I did, they ask me why I stopped. Why did you? Mara doesn't answer. Simmons doesn't push. They sit in silence for a while. Then Simmons says, that soldier, the first one, he called you Phantom. Mara's jaw tightens. Was that your call sign? It was my unit. Phantom Company. Mara nods. What happened to them? Mara stands. Her knees crack. She's exhausted. They're gone. All of them. Most? Simmons stands too. And you? Mara looks at her, really looks at her. I'm the one who decided who lived and who didn't. She walks away before Simmons can respond. It's 3 a.m. when Mara finally leaves the hospital. The parking lot is empty except for a few scattered cars. The air is cold, clean. She sits in her car for a long time, staring at her hands. They're clean now, scrubbed, but she can still see the blood. She always can. Her phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. You saved my son tonight. Thank you. She stares at it. Doesn't reply. Doesn't know how. Another text. He said you were his captain. Said you taught him how to tie a tourniquet. Said you're the reason he came home. Mara's vision blurs. She doesn't cry. Hasn't in years, but her hands shake. She starts the car. Drives home. Doesn't remember the route. When she walks into her apartment, it's dark, quiet, empty. She sits on the couch, stares at the wall. Her phone buzzes again. This time it's a voicemail. She almost doesn't listen, but she does. The voice is rough, familiar. Captain Kincaid, it's Sergeant Hayes. I don't know if you remember me. Probably don't, but I was there. Ramadi, the night we lost Williams. Mara's breath catches. I just wanted you to know what you did tonight. That's who you are. That's who you've always been. Don't let them make you forget. The message ends. Mara sits in the dark, and for the first time in 2 years, she lets herself remember. The next morning, she walks into the hospital expecting nothing to have changed, but everything has. Dr. Voss is waiting for her at the nurse's station. He doesn't look angry. He looks smaller. Miss Kincaid. Dr. Voss. He clears his throat. I owe you an apology. She blinks. Excuse me? Last night I made a mistake. Several mistakes. He won't meet her eyes. You saved lives. Lives I would have lost. And I tried to remove you from the room. Mara doesn't respond. Doctor. Lentz has requested you be transferred to her trauma team, effective today, pending credentialing review, of course, but he finally looks at her. I'm not going to stand in the way. Good. He flinches at the word. Is that all? Mara asks. No. He hesitates. I looked into your file this morning. Your real file. Her stomach drops. 6 deployments, 4 commendations, 2 Bronze Stars, a Silver Star. He pauses. And a dishonorable discharge. The air leaves the room. Mara's voice is ice. That's sealed. Not for me. Not anymore. He steps closer. What happened? None of your business. It is if you're working in my ER. It's not your ER anymore, Mara says quietly. Remember? Voss's face hardens. You don't get to walk in here and... I didn't walk in here, Mara interrupts. I was dragged. By circumstance. By necessity. And when your team couldn't handle it, I did. So don't stand there and lecture me about what I get to do. She turns to leave. They're saying you killed someone. She stops. Voss's voice is careful now, almost gentle. The report says you made a call, a triage call, and someone died because of it. Mara turns slowly. Someone always dies. But you chose. I did. And that's why you're here? Hiding? I'm not hiding. Then what are you doing? Mara looks at him, really looks at him. I'm trying not to make that choice again. She walks away. The day passes in a blur. Patients come and go. Mara works mechanically, efficiently, but she's distant. Simmons tries to talk to her twice. She deflects both times. At noon, a man in a suit walks into the ER. Tall. Graying hair. Military posture. He asks for Mara Kincaid. Simmons points him toward the break room. Mara's eating a sandwich when he walks in. Captain Kincaid. She looks up, freezes. Colonel Briggs? He smiles. Been a while. 2 years. Give or take. He sits down across from her. Heard you had an interesting night. Word travels fast. It does when one of my soldiers calls his CO and says the Phantom saved his life. Mara sets down the sandwich. I'm not Phantom anymore. You'll always be Phantom. Briggs leans back. That's not something you just stop being. I did. No, you ran. His voice is calm, not accusatory, just factual. And I let you, because I thought you needed time. I did. And now I'm here. Doing what? Restocking gauze? Briggs shakes his head. You're better than this, Mara. Am I? You saved 9 men last night. I got lucky. No, you were good, like you've always been. He pauses. Williams's death wasn't your fault. Mara's hands curl into fists. You made the call you had to make, Briggs continues. You saved 7 men. Williams knew the risks. He was 19. And the others were 20, 22, 25. You think their ages matter? Briggs leans forward. You chose. That's what command is. That's what being Phantom means. I don't want it anymore. Too bad. He stands. Because it wants you. He drops a folder on the table. What's this? An offer. The Army needs combat medic instructors. People who've been there. Who know what it's really like. He taps the folder. Think about it. He walks to the door, then pauses. By the way, the soldier you saved last night? His name is Carter. PFC James Carter. 23 years old, married, 2 kids. Mara's breath catches. He's alive because of you, so are the others. Briggs meets her eyes. Don't waste that. He leaves. Mara sits alone in the break room, staring at the folder. She doesn't open it. Not yet. That night, another convoy hits. This time, it's worse. 12 casualties. 3 critical. 1 DOA. The ER explodes into motion. Dr. Lentz is already in surgery. The trauma team is overwhelmed. Dr. Voss is back on shift, but he's in over his head. Mara hears the chaos from the break room. She closes her eyes, tries to block it out. Can't. She stands. Walks to the door. Simmons sees her. Kincaid, we need... I know. She steps into the ER, and everything changes. The noise fades. The panic sharpens into focus. Her heart rate slows, her hands steady. She's not Mara Kincaid anymore. She's Phantom. And Phantom doesn't hesitate. Simmons, get me 3 units of ONEG and a thoracotomy kit. You, she points at a resident, start a second IV line on the chest wound, high and tight. Voss, call Lentz and tell her we're bringing one up in 5 minutes whether she's ready or not. They move. No questions. No hesitation. Because when Phantom gives an order, you follow it. Mara works. Fast. Precise. Brutal. She cracks a chest in the middle of the ER. No time for an OR. The resident beside her looks like he's going to pass out. Breathe, she says calmly, and hold that retractor steady. He does. She clamps the bleeder, sutures the tear, massages the heart back to rhythm. The patient gasps, alive. The room erupts in controlled chaos, but it's working now. It's organized. It's hers. Dr. Voss watches from the edge again, but this time he's not angry. He's in awe. 4 hours later, the ER is quiet again. All 12 patients stabilized, all 3 criticals saved, 0 deaths. Mara sits on the floor again, back against the wall, covered in blood. Simmons sits beside her. You're terrifying, you know that? Mara almost smiles. I've been told. Where did you learn to crack a chest like that? Field Hospital, Mosul. We didn't have time to wait for an OR. Did the patient make it? Most of the time. Simmons nods slowly. I'm glad you're here. Mara looks at her. Why? Because if you weren't, a lot of people would be dead. Mara doesn't respond. Simmons stands, offers her a hand. Mara takes it. They walk out together. The next morning, Mara opens the folder Colonel Briggs left. Inside is an offer letter, a contract, a chance to go back. Not to the field, but to teach, to train, to make sure the next generation doesn't make the mistakes she did. She stares at it for a long time. Then she picks up her phone, dials a number she hasn't called in 2 years. Briggs. It's Kincaid. A pause. I'm listening. I'll do it, on one condition. Name it. I stay here, part-time. The ER needs someone who knows what real trauma looks like. Briggs chuckles. Done. Mara exhales. Welcome back, Captain. She hangs up, sits in silence, and for the first time in 2 years, she doesn't feel like she's hiding. She feels like she's home. That afternoon, Dr. Voss calls a staff meeting. Mara walks in, expecting another lecture, another reprimand. Instead, Voss stands at the front of the room and clears his throat. I've made a lot of mistakes in my career, he begins, but none bigger than the one I made 3 nights ago. He looks directly at Mara. I tried to remove Captain Mara Kincaid from this ER because I didn't trust her, because I didn't know her, and because of that, I almost cost lives. The room is silent. I'm stepping down as head of emergency medicine, effective immediately, and I'm recommending Captain Kincaid take my place. Gasps, murmurs, shocked faces. Mara stands. What? Voss smiles. Small, sad, genuine. You're better than me. Better than most of us. And these patients deserve the best. He extends his hand. Mara stares at it. Then she takes it. The room erupts in applause. 6 months later. Ashford General's Trauma Center is the highest rated in the state. Mara Kincaid stands in front of a lecture hall, teaching a class of new residents. Triage isn't about saving everyone, she says. It's about saving the most people you can. And sometimes that means making choices no one should have to make. A young resident raises his hand. How do you live with that? Mara pauses. You don't, she says quietly. You just keep moving forward. After class, a young man approaches her. Captain Kincaid? She turns. He's holding a photo. A soldier in full gear, smiling at the camera. My father, he says. He was part of Phantom Company. Mara's breath catches. He died in Ramadi 2 years ago. She nods slowly. I remember. The young man smiles. He wrote me a letter before he deployed. Said if anything happened to him, I should find you, tell you something. What? That you made the right call. Mara's vision blurs. The young man extends his hand. Thank you, Captain, for bringing the others home. She shakes his hand, and for the first time since that night in Ramadi, Mara Kincaid breathes. Really breathes. Because she's not running anymore. She's not hiding. She's exactly where she's supposed to be. And the people who tried to throw her out? They're the ones watching her now, learning from her, following her lead. Justice doesn't always come with a verdict. Sometimes it comes with a second chance. And Mara Kincaid isn't wasting hers. The lecture hall empties slowly. Students linger, asking questions about tourniquet placement, about field triage, about how to stay calm when everything is falling apart. Mara answers each one with the same measured patience she's learned to wear like armor, but her mind is elsewhere. The photograph is still in her hand. The young man's father, frozen in time, grinning at the camera like he had all the time in the world. His name was Williams. Private First Class David Williams, 19 years old, dead because she chose someone else. She slides the photo into her pocket and walks out into the hallway. The hospital hums with its usual controlled chaos, nurses rushing between rooms, overhead pages calling for doctors, the smell of disinfectant and weak coffee. It's become familiar, safe even, but safety is an illusion. She's halfway to her office when her phone vibrates. A text from Simmons. Need you in the ER. Now. Mara doesn't run. She never does. But her pace quickens. When she pushes through the double doors, the scene is wrong. Not chaotic, quiet. Too quiet. A cluster of nurses and residents stand near Bay 3, their faces tight. Dr. Lentz is there too, arms crossed, jaw set. Simmons sees her first. We have a problem. Mara approaches. What kind? Lentz steps aside, revealing the patient on the gurney. A woman, mid-40s, unconscious. Her vitals are stable, but her chart tells a different story. Multiple contusions, defensive wounds on her forearms, a fractured orbital bone. Domestic assault, Lentz says quietly. Husband brought her in. Said she fell down the stairs. Mara looks at the woman's face. The bruising is too symmetrical, too deliberate. Where is he? Waiting room. Does he know we're reporting this? Not yet. Lentz's voice drops. But there's a complication. Always is. He's a cop. The air shifts, Mara's jaw tightens. Which precinct? 4th, detective, 20 years on the force. Lentz glances toward the waiting room. His captain is already here. Wants to talk to whoever's in charge. Of course he does. Simmons steps closer. What do we do? Mara looks at the woman again. Her breathing is shallow but steady. Someone did this to her. Someone who swore to protect people. We follow protocol, Mara says. Document everything. Photograph the injuries. Report to the state. And if anyone tries to stop us, they can take it up with my lawyer. Lentz almost smiles. You don't have a lawyer. Then they can take it up with me. She walks toward the waiting room. Ooh. The man sitting in the corner doesn't look like a monster. He looks tired, rumpled shirt, graying hair, hands folded in his lap. When he sees Mara, he stands. Doctor? Captain Kincaid, head of emergency medicine. He extends a hand. Detective Marcus Rowe. She doesn't take it. His hand drops. Something flickers in his eyes. Recognition, maybe, or warning. How is she? He asks. Stable. We're running tests. Good. That's good. He rubs his face. She's clumsy. Always has been. I told her to get those stairs fixed, but... Detective Rowe, I need to ask you some questions. He blinks. About what? About the injuries. I already told the nurse. She fell. Fell. Yeah. Mara looks at him, reads him. His posture is too relaxed, his voice too steady. He's done this before. The fracture pattern on her orbital bone suggests direct impact, Mara says, not a fall. And the bruising on her forearms is consistent with defensive wounds. Rowe's expression doesn't change. You calling me a liar? I'm stating medical facts. You weren't there. No, but your wife was. His jaw tightens. Be careful, Captain. Or what? The air between them crackles. A man in a police captain's uniform steps into the waiting room, tall, broad-shouldered, with the kind of face that's used to getting what it wants. Captain Kincaid, I presume. She turns. You presume correctly. Captain Hugh Brennan, 4th Precinct. He doesn't offer a handshake either. I understand there's been a misunderstanding. No misunderstanding. Your detective's wife has injuries consistent with assault. We're required by law to report it. Brennan's smile is tight. Of course, but let's not jump to conclusions. Detective Rowe is a decorated officer. 15 commendations, spotless record. His wife has a broken face. Accidents happen. Not like this. Brennan steps closer. His voice drops. Captain Kincaid, I respect what you do here. I really do. But you're making a serious accusation against one of my men based on… what? A hunch? Based on evidence. Evidence that could be explained a dozen different ways. Could be. Isn't. Brennan's eyes harden. You're new to this hospital, new to this city. You've done good work. No one's denying that. But you're also a guest here, and guests should be careful about overstepping. Mara's voice is ice. Are you threatening me? I'm advising you. Advise someone else. She walks away. Brennan calls after her. This won't end well for you. She doesn't look back. Tick. By the time Mara returns to the ER, the woman is awake. Her name is Laura Rowe. She's groggy, disoriented, but conscious. Simmons is at her bedside, holding her hand. Mara approaches slowly. Mrs. Rowe, I'm Captain Kincaid. Can you tell me what happened? Laura's eyes dart toward the door. Where's Marcus? Waiting room. Is he angry? Why would he be angry? Laura doesn't answer. Her breathing quickens. Mrs. Rowe, you're safe here. No one's going to hurt you. You don't understand. Then help me. Laura's hand trembles. I fell. That's all. I fell. Laura. Mara's voice softens. I know what these injuries look like. I've seen them before. You don't have to protect him. Laura's eyes fill with tears. If I don't, he'll kill me. The words hang in the air. Simmons's grip tightens on Laura's hand. Mara leans closer. Then let us protect you. You can't. We can try. Laura shakes her head. You don't know what he's capable of. I know what I'm capable of. Mara's voice is steady. And I'm not letting him walk out of here without consequences. Laura stares at her. They'll cover for him. They always do. Not this time. Why? What makes you different? Mara meets her eyes. Because I've already lost everything once. I'm not afraid of losing it again. Laura's tears spill over. She nods, just barely. Okay. Mara exhales. Okay. She turns to Simmons. Get social services down here and call hospital security. I want an officer outside this room until she's discharged. Simmons nods and leaves. Mara stays with Laura, silent, present. Outside, she can hear raised voices. Brennan and Rowe arguing with someone, probably Lentz. This is going to get ugly. It takes less than an hour for the ugliness to arrive in full force. Mara is in her office, reviewing Laura's file, when the door swings open without a knock. Brennan walks in, followed by two other men in suits. One is older, silver-haired, with the kind of expensive watch that screams lawyer. The other is younger, sharp-eyed, taking notes. Captain Kincaid, Brennan says. This is Harold Finch, legal counsel for the Ashford Police Department. And this is Assistant District Attorney Kevin Park. Mara doesn't stand. Make an appointment next time. Finch smiles. It doesn't reach his eyes. We're here to discuss the allegations against Detective Rowe. There's nothing to discuss. We're filing a report with the state. It's already done. Actually, Park says, flipping through his notes, it's not. The report was flagged for review. Flagged by who? By my office. We have concerns about the evidence. Mara sets down the file. What concerns? Well, for starters, Mrs. Rowe has recanted her statement. Mara's blood goes cold. What? Park shows her a piece of paper. A signed affidavit. Laura's signature at the bottom. I, Laura Rowe, confirm that my injuries were the result of a fall. I was not assaulted. I do not wish to pursue any charges. This is coercion, Mara says. This is a voluntary statement, Finch corrects, signed in the presence of a witness. Who? Her husband? A social worker. Bullshit. Brennan's voice cuts in. Captain Kincaid, I understand you're passionate about your patients, but you're interfering in a police matter. She's my patient. That makes it my matter. She's also an adult with the right to make her own decisions, Park says. And she's decided she doesn't want your help. Mara stands. Get out. Finch raises an eyebrow. Excuse me? You heard me. Get out of my office. Brennan steps forward. You're making a mistake. No, you are. Mara's voice is steel. Because even if Laura won't press charges, I will. I'm a mandated reporter. I saw the injuries. I documented them. And I'm filing the report whether you like it or not. Finch's smile fades. If you do that, we'll be forced to take action. What kind of action? The kind that involves questioning your credibility, your history. He pulls out another folder. Did you think we wouldn't look into you? Dishonorable discharge, court-martial proceedings. A soldier dead because of your choices. Mara's hands curl into fists. You're not a hero, Captain Kincaid, Finch continues. You're a liability, and if you pursue this, we'll make sure everyone knows it. Silence. Then Mara laughs, not loud, not manic, just tired. You think I care? She says quietly. You think threatening me with my past is going to make me back down? It should. It won't. She looks at Brennan. You want to destroy me? Fine, do it. But Laura's report is getting filed, and if anything happens to her after she leaves this hospital, I'm coming for all of you. Brennan's face reddens. You have no idea who you're dealing with. Sure I do. Corrupt cops and scared lawyers. I've dealt with worse. Not in this city, you haven't. Then I'll adapt. Finch closes his folder. This conversation is over. It was over the moment you walked in. They leave. The door slams. Mara sits down slowly. Her hands are shaking again. Simmons appears in the doorway. I heard shouting. They're trying to bury it. Can they? Probably. So what do we do? Mara looks at her. We make noise. By evening, the hospital is buzzing. Word spreads fast in places like this. A captain, a cop, a cover-up. The kind of story people whisper about in break rooms and parking lots. Mara doesn't hide. She walks through the ER with her head up, answering questions when asked, deflecting when necessary. Dr. Lentz pulls her aside near the elevators. You know they're going to come after you. I know? And you're doing this anyway? What choice do I have? Lentz studies her. You could walk away, let someone else fight this battle. I tried that once. Didn't work out. Lentz nods slowly. Then I'm with you. You don't have to be. I know. But I am. She walks away before Mara can respond. That night, Mara goes home to an empty apartment and a full inbox. Emails from colleagues offering quiet support. A few from reporters asking for comment. One from Colonel Briggs. Heard you're making enemies. Good. Means you're doing it right. She almost smiles. Then she sees the last email. No sender name, just a subject line. Drop it. She opens it. Inside is a single photo. Her apartment building, taken from across the street. Recent. There's her car in the lot. No message. No signature. Just the photo. Mara stares at it for a long time. Then she forwards it to Briggs with a single line. They're escalating. His reply comes in seconds. So should you. She closes her laptop, walks to the window, looks out at the street. Nothing moves. But she knows they're watching. Oh. The next morning, Laura Rowe is discharged. Mara tries to talk to her before she leaves, but Laura won't make eye contact. I'm sorry, Laura whispers. I can't. You can. You just have to. I have kids, Captain. 2 boys. If I fight him, he'll take them. He's already threatened it. Mara's chest tightens. We can help. No, you can't. Laura finally looks at her. But thank you for trying. She leaves with her husband. Detective Rowe doesn't even glance at Mara as they walk past. Simmons watches them go. This is wrong. Yeah. So what now? Mara doesn't answer. She's watching the security footage on the monitor above the nurse's station. Rowe's hand is on Laura's back. Gentle. Possessive. A message. She turns to Simmons. Get me every piece of documentation we have on Laura. Every photo, every note, every scan. Make copies. Send one set to the state, another to the DA's office. and a third to every media outlet in the city. Simmons blinks. Are you serious? Completely. They'll crucify you. Let them, Simmons grins. You're insane. Probably. Ite. The story breaks within 48 hours. Local hospital reports police cover-up in domestic assault case. The headline spreads across local news sites, social media, radio. Photos of Laura's injuries, blurred for privacy, but damning. Quotes from anonymous hospital staff. A statement from Mara, brief and professional. We followed protocol. The evidence speaks for itself. The city explodes. Protests outside the 4th Precinct. Calls for Brennan's resignation. Reporters camped outside Ashford General. And Mara, at the center of it all, saying nothing. She goes to work. Does her job. Saves lives. But the pressure is building. Captain Brennan holds a press conference, calls the allegations baseless, says Mara is pursuing a personal vendetta. Detective Rose stands beside him, looking wounded. My wife is fine. This is a witch hunt. The public doesn't buy it. Neither does the mayor. Within a week, the state opens an official investigation, and Mara receives another email. You've made a powerful enemy. Be careful. She deletes it. 2 weeks later, Mara is called into a meeting with the hospital board. She walks into the conference room to find 8 people seated around a long table. Hospital administrators, legal counsel, a representative from the city council, and Dr. Richard Voss. He won't meet her eyes. The board chair, a gray-haired woman named Eleanor Cross, gestures to a seat. Captain Kincaid, thank you for coming. Mara sits. What's this about? We've received several complaints regarding your conduct. From who? That's confidential? Let me guess, the police department. Cross's expression doesn't change. The specifics aren't important. What matters is that your actions have put this hospital in a difficult position. My actions saved a woman's life. Your actions created a media circus. Because I did my job. Your job, Cross says slowly, is to treat patients, not to wage war with local law enforcement. I didn't start this war. They did. That's irrelevant. Mara leans back. So what are you saying? Cross exchanges a glance with the others. We're placing you on administrative leave. Pending review. The room tilts. You're suspending me? It's temporary, just until things settle down. Things won't settle down. That's the point. Captain Kincaid, no. Mara stands. You're not doing this because I broke protocol. You're doing this because I made the wrong people angry. That's not true. Isn't it? She looks at Voss. Tell me, did they threaten to pull funding, cut partnerships? What did they offer you? Voss finally looks at her. Mara, please, don't. Her voice is cold. Don't pretend this is anything other than what it is. Cross's voice hardens. Captain Kincaid, you're out of line. And you're a coward. The room goes silent. Mara turns and walks out. She's packing her office when Simmons finds her. They actually did it, Simmons says, disbelief in her voice. Yep. This is insane. It's politics. It's bullshit. Mara almost smiles. That too. Simmons leans against the doorframe. What are you going to do? I don't know. You could fight it. I could. But that takes time and money and energy I don't have. So you're just giving up? Mara looks at her. I didn't say that. Before Simmons can respond, Mara's phone rings. Unknown number. She answers. Kincaid. Captain Kincaid, this is Agent Rachel Torres, FBI. Mara's pulse quickens. FBI? We've been monitoring the situation with Detective Rowe, and we'd like to talk. About what? About making sure justice is served. Mara sits down slowly. I'm listening. Not over the phone. Can you meet it? When? Tonight, 9 p.m. There's a diner on 5th and Marshall. Come alone. The line goes dead. Simmons stares at her. What was that? Mara stands, a strange energy coursing through her. A second chance. Acham. The diner is nearly empty when Mara arrives. Just a waitress wiping down tables and a man in a booth near the back. Agent Torres is younger than Mara expected. Early 30s, sharp suit, sharper eyes. Captain Kincaid. She gestures to the seat across from her. Thanks for coming. Mara slides into the booth. You said this is about Rowe. It is, but it's bigger than him. Torres slides a folder across the table. Detective Marcus Rowe isn't just a dirty cop. He's part of a network. Officers who cover for each other. Who intimidate witnesses. Who use their badges to get away with crimes. Mara opens the folder. Photos. Documents. A list of names. How long has this been going on? Years, but we've never had enough to move. Until now. What changed? Torres meets her eyes. You did. When you refused to back down, you forced them into the open, and now we can see the whole picture. Mara's heart pounds. What do you need from me? Testimony. Evidence. Everything you have on Laura Rowe's case. I've already given that to the state. We need more. We need you to go on record, publicly. No anonymity, no protection. Mara's stomach drops. You're asking me to paint a target on my back. I'm asking you to finish what you started. Silence. Mara looks at the folder again. All those names, all those victims. If I do this, she says slowly, they'll destroy me. Maybe. Or maybe you destroy them first. Mara closes the folder, slides it back across the table. Torres's face falls. Captain, I'll do it, Mara says. But on one condition. Name it. When this is over, Laura and her kids get real protection. Not a restraining order, not a safe house for a week. Real protection. Torres nods. Done. Mara stands. When do we start? Tomorrow. Press conference, 10 a.m. Federal Building. I'll be there. She walks out of the diner into the cold night air, and for the first time in weeks, she feels something like hope. The next morning, Mara stands in front of a room full of reporters, cameras, and microphones. Agent Torres is beside her. So is an assistant U.S. attorney. The questions come fast. Captain Kincaid, why are you speaking out now? Because someone has to. Do you believe Detective Rowe is guilty? I believe the evidence is clear. The police department says you have a vendetta. What do you say to that? Mara looks directly into the camera. I say they're scared because the truth is coming out and they can't stop it. The room erupts. That night, Mara's phone won't stop ringing. Reporters, supporters, threats. She ignores most of them, but one call gets through. Captain Kincaid? A woman's voice, shaking, terrified. Yes? This is Laura Rowe. I saw the press conference. Mara's breath catches. Laura, are you okay? No, I'm not. She's crying now. He knows. He knows I talked to you, and he's going to hurt me. Where are you? Home. But he's not here. He's at the station. They're planning something. Planning what? I don't know. But I heard him on the phone. He said your name. He said it ends tonight. The line goes dead. Mara's blood turns to ice. She grabs her keys and runs. The city blurs past her windshield. Traffic lights become streaks of red and green. Mara's hands grip the wheel so hard her knuckles go white. Laura's voice loops in her head. He said it ends tonight. And every worst-case scenario plays out in rapid succession. She dials Torres, straight to voicemail. She tries again, same result. Damn it. She calls 911 instead. 911, what's your emergency? This is Captain Mara Kincaid. I need officers dispatched to 1847 Oakmont Drive immediately. Potential domestic violence situation in progress. A pause. Ma'am, can you confirm the address? 1847 Oakmont Drive. Laura Rowe. Her husband is Detective Marcus Rowe, 4th Precinct. She's in danger. Another pause, longer this time. Ma'am, we show no active disturbance at that location. I'm telling you there will be. Send someone now. We'll dispatch a unit to check on the residents. How long? Standard response time is 15 to 20 minutes. That's too long. Ma'am, that's the best we can do. Mara hangs up and floors it. The row house sits at the end of a quiet cul-de-sac. Neat lawn, white picket fence, the kind of place that looks perfect from the outside. Mara pulls up across the street, kills the engine, and watches. No movement inside. Lights on in the living room. One car in the driveway. Laura's sedan. Mara's instincts scream at her to wait for backup. But backup isn't coming, not fast enough. And if Rose shows up before the cops do, Laura's dead. She gets out of the car. The front door is unlocked. That's the first sign something's wrong. Mara pushes it open slowly, listening. The house is silent except for the hum of the refrigerator and the ticking of a clock somewhere deeper inside. Laura? No answer. She steps inside. The living room is pristine, too pristine, like someone cleaned up in a hurry. A couch cushion is slightly crooked. A magazine on the coffee table sits at an odd angle. Laura, it's Mara. I'm here to help. Still nothing. She moves down the hallway. Family photos line the walls. Marcus and Laura on their wedding day. 2 young boys at a birthday party. Everyone smiling. Everyone perfect. The bedroom door is cracked open. Mara pushes it with her foot. Laura is sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor. Her face is pale. Her hands are folded in her lap. Laura. She doesn't look up. You shouldn't have come. Mara steps inside. He called you, didn't he? He's on his way. He knows you're here. How? Laura finally looks at her. There's a phone on the nightstand. The screen is lit up. A tracking app is open, showing a blinking red dot. Mara's location. He put spyware on my phone, Laura whispers. Months ago. I didn't know until tonight. Mara's stomach drops. We need to leave. Right now. I can't. Yes, you can. If I run, he'll find me. He always does. Not this time. Mara grabs Laura's arm gently but firmly. I'm not leaving without you. Laura's eyes fill with tears. He'll kill you. He can try. They make it halfway down the hallway before headlights flood the living room. A car door slams. Footsteps on the porch. Laura freezes. It's him. Mara pulls her back toward the bedroom. Is there another way out? The back door. Kitchen. They move fast. Mara keeps herself between Laura and the front door. They're almost to the kitchen when the front door crashes open. Laura! Rose's voice echoes through the house. Loud, angry, unhinged. Mara shoves Laura toward the kitchen. Go, now! What about you? I'll be right behind you. Laura hesitates, then runs. Mara turns to face the hallway. Ro appears at the other end, silhouetted by the living room light. He's not in uniform, jeans, t-shirt, but there's a gun in his hand. Captain Kincaid. His voice is eerily calm now. You just don't know when to quit, do you? Let her go, Marcus. She's my wife. She goes where I say. Not anymore. He laughs. It's a hollow sound. You think you're some kind of hero? You think you're going to save her? I think I'm going to stop you. With what? Words? He raises the gun. You're unarmed, alone, and trespassing. I could shoot you right now and call it self-defense. Mara's mind races. He's right. She has no weapon, no backup, and if he pulls that trigger, there's no one here to say it wasn't justified. But she doesn't move. Go ahead, she says quietly. Shoot me. But you know what happens next, right? Enlighten me. The FBI already has everything. Every piece of evidence, every witness. You kill me, you just add murder to the list. They have nothing. They have Laura's testimony, the hospital records, photos, and they have me on record calling 911 20 minutes ago. You think they won't put 2 and 2 together when I turn up dead in your house? Rose's jaw tightens. The gun wavers slightly. You're done, Marcus, Mara continues. You just don't know it yet. Shut up. Your captain's already turning on you. They're cutting deals, saving themselves. You're the fall guy. I said shut up. Shoot me. Prove me right. Sirens wail in the distance. Faint, but getting louder. Rose's eyes flick toward the front door. Back to Mara. Back to the door. He runs. Not toward Mara. Not toward Laura. Toward the back of the house. Toward the garage. Mara sprints after him. She bursts through the kitchen door just as Ro throws open the garage. Laura is there, frozen halfway to the back gate. Ro grabs her by the arm, yanks her back. Let her go, Mara shouts. Ro puts the gun to Laura's head. Stay back. Mara stops, raises her hands. Marcus, don't do this. I don't have a choice. You always have a choice. Not anymore. His voice cracks. You took everything from me, my career, my reputation, my life. You did that to yourself. No, you did. He presses the gun harder against Laura's temple. She whimpers. You couldn't just leave it alone. You had to be the hero. I'm not a hero. I'm just someone who couldn't walk away. The sirens are louder now, close, maybe 2 blocks away. Rose's hand shakes. If I let her go, they'll lock me up. You know that. Yes. I'll lose everything. You already have. He stares at Mara. For a moment, she sees something in his eyes. Not anger, fear, desperation. A man realizing there's no way out. Then the fear hardens into something else. Resolve. Then I'm taking her with me. He starts dragging Laura toward his car. Mara moves without thinking. She lunges forward, grabs the arm holding the gun, and yanks it upward. The gun goes off. The sound is deafening in the enclosed space. The bullet punches through the garage roof. Laura screams. Mara drives her elbow into Rose's ribs. He grunts, staggers, but doesn't let go of the gun. He swings it towards her. She catches his wrist, twists. They grapple. He's bigger, stronger, but she's fought bigger, fought stronger, and she's fought to survive. She hooks her leg behind his, throws her weight forward. He topples backward, slamming into the concrete. The gun skitters across the floor. Laura dives for it. Roe lunges after her. Mara grabs his ankle, drags him back. He kicks. His boot catches her in the shoulder. Pain explodes up her neck. She doesn't let go. Laura reaches the gun, picks it up. Her hand shakes so badly she nearly drops it. Laura, don't! Mara shouts. But Laura isn't pointing it at Roe. She's pointing it at the ground, away from everyone. I'm not like you, she says to her husband. Her voice is steady now. I'm not a monster. Police lights flood the garage. Car doors slam. Voices shout, "Drop the weapon! Hands in the air!" Laura sets the gun down slowly, raises her hands. Mara does the same. Rose stays on the ground, breathing hard, staring at the ceiling. The next 2 hours are a blur of statements, questions, and flashing cameras. Mara sits in the back of an ambulance while a paramedic checks her shoulder. Bruised, not broken. She'll survive. Agent Torres arrives with a team of federal agents. She takes one look at Mara and shakes her head. You couldn't wait for backup? There wasn't time. You could have been killed, but I wasn't. Torres almost smiles. No, you weren't. Laura is taken to a safe location. Before she leaves, she stops by the ambulance. Thank you, she says quietly. Mara nods. You're going to be okay. Am I? Eventually. Laura's eyes glisten. I should have fought back sooner. You fought when it mattered. That's enough. Laura squeezes her hand, then walks away. The fallout is immediate and brutal. By morning, the story is everywhere. Hospital captain stops dirty cop in dramatic standoff. Photos of Mara being escorted out of the Roe house. Video of Marcus Roe being led away in handcuffs. Statements from the FBI confirming an ongoing investigation into corruption within the 4th Precinct. Captain Hugh Brennan resigns within 24 hours. 3 other officers are placed on administrative leave. And Mara becomes the most famous and most hated person in Ashford. She gets death threats, hate mail, anonymous calls in the middle of the night. Someone spray paints "snitch" across her car. But she also gets flowers, letters of support, a standing ovation when she walks into a coffee shop. The city is divided, and Mara is caught in the middle. 2 days after the incident, she's called back to Ashford General. The hospital board wants to see her. She walks into the same conference room, the same faces. But the energy is different now. Eleanor Cross stands when she enters. Captain Kincaid, thank you for coming. Mara sits. What do you want? Cross exchanges glances with the others. We owe you an apology. Mara blinks. Excuse me? We made a mistake. When we placed you on leave, we were reacting to pressure, political pressure, financial pressure. Cross's voice is steady. We should have stood by you. We didn't. And for that, we're sorry. Mara doesn't respond. We'd like to reinstate you, Cross continues, effective immediately. Full authority, full support. Why now? Because you were right, And we were wrong. Mara leans back. You suspended me because I made powerful people uncomfortable. Now you want me back because those same people are in handcuffs. That's not integrity. That's optics. Cross flinches. You're not wrong. Then why should I come back? Because this hospital needs you. The patients need you. And whether you believe it or not, we need you. Mara looks around the table, sees faces that were hostile 2 weeks ago now looking at her with something close to respect. She stands. I'll think about it. Captain, I said I'll think about it. She walks out. That night she sits in her apartment staring at her phone. Messages from Simmons, from Lentz, from Colonel Briggs, all of them asking the same question. What are you going to do? She doesn't know. She spent her entire adult life fighting enemies, fighting systems, fighting herself. And she's tired. But then her phone buzzes. A new message. From Laura. The boys asked about you. They wanted to know if you're a superhero. Mara stares at the message. What did you tell them? She types back. The response comes quickly. I told them you're better. You're real. Mara sets the phone down, looks out the window at the city lights, and she makes a decision. Us. The next morning, she walks into Ashford General at 7 a.m. Dr. Lentz is waiting for her at the entrance. You're back. I'm back. Does that mean? It means I'm not done yet. Lentz grins. Good, because we have incoming trauma, military convoy, 6 casualties, ETA 5 minutes. Mara doesn't hesitate. She walks straight to the ER, scrubs in, and gets to work. The first patient is a young soldier, early 20s. Shrapnel wounds across his chest and abdomen, BP dropping fast. Mara's hands move automatically, assessing, prioritizing, stabilizing. Simmons, I need 2 units of O-neg and a chest tube kit. On it. The soldier's eyes flutter open. He looks at Mara. Captain? She pauses. Do I know you? No, ma'am, but I know you. You saved my brother. Last year, Ramadi. Mara's breath catches. What's his name? Private Hollis. James Hollis. She remembers. A field hospital. A chest wound. A kid who shouldn't have survived but did. He made it? Yes, ma'am. Because of you. Mara's throat tightens. Then let's make sure you do too. She works. The soldier stabilizes. Another gurney arrives. Then another. Then 3 more. Mara moves between them, calling orders, reading wounds, making calls. This is what she's good at. This is where she belongs. Not in boardrooms. Not in press conferences. Here. In the blood and chaos and impossible choices. Here, where every second matters. Where every decision is life or death. Where she doesn't have to be perfect. She just has to be enough. By noon, all 6 patients are stable. All 6 will survive. Mara is sitting in the break room drinking terrible coffee when Dr. Voss appears in the doorway. Captain Kincaid. She looks up. Voss? He shifts uncomfortably. I owe you an apology. A real one. You already apologized. No, I placated you. There's a difference. He steps inside. What I did, trying to remove you from that first case, voting to suspend you, it wasn't about protocol. It was about ego. I couldn't handle the fact that you were better than me. Mara sets down her coffee. You're not wrong. He almost laughs. No, I'm not. He extends his hand. I'd like to start over, if you'll let me. She looks at his hand, then at his face, and she shakes it. Don't make me regret this, she says. I won't. He leaves. Simmons slides into the seat across from her. That was big of him. Yeah. You going to forgive him? Eventually, maybe. Simmons grins. You're a piece of work, you know that? I've been told. They sit in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Simmons says, I heard the FBI arrested 4 more officers this morning, including the deputy chief. Mara nods. Torres called. They're building a case. It's going to take months, maybe years. But it's happening. Yeah, it's happening. Because of you. Mara looks at her. Because Laura was brave enough to talk. Because you were brave enough to help. Because a lot of people did the right thing. You're deflecting. I'm being honest. Simmons stands. Well, for what it's worth, I'm glad you're back. Me too. Marmint. That evening, Mara drives to the federal building. Agent Torres meets her in the lobby. Captain Kincaid, twice in 1 week. People will talk. Mara almost smiles. I need an update on Laura. She's safe. New identity, new city. The boys are enrolled in school. She's starting a new job next week. What kind of job? Victim advocate. Helping other women leave abusive situations. Mara's chest tightens. Good for her. She wanted me to give you this. Torres hands her an envelope. Inside is a handwritten note. You gave me my life back. I'm going to make it count. Thank you. L. Mara folds the note carefully, slips it into her pocket. What about Roe? She asks. Federal charges: assault, kidnapping, obstruction, witness intimidation. He's looking at 20 to life. No chance of parole. And the others? Brennan's cooperating. Gave us names, dates, details. He'll do time, but less than Roe. Torres leans against the wall. We're dismantling the whole network. It's going to take years, but we're doing it. Good. Torres studies her. You okay? Why wouldn't I be? Because you just took on an entire police department and won. That's not something most people walk away from unscathed. Mara is quiet for a moment. I'm not unscathed, but I'm standing. That's all that matters. Is it? Torres pushes off the wall. You did the right thing, Captain. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I won't. Talk. Mara drives home as the sun sets. The city looks different now, lighter somehow, like a weight has been lifted. She parks in her usual spot, walks up to her apartment, unlocks the door, and stops. The living room is dark, but there's someone sitting on her couch. Her hand moves instinctively to her hip. No weapon. Who's there? The figure stands, steps into the light from the hallway. Colonel Briggs. Jesus, Briggs. You trying to give me a heart attack? He smiles. Your building security is terrible. I walked right in. I'll file a complaint. She closes the door. What are you doing here? I wanted to see how you're doing. I'm fine. Are you? She sets her keys on the counter. What do you want, Briggs? He pulls a folder from his jacket, sets it on the coffee table. The Army wants you back. Mara stares at the folder. I was discharged. Dishonorably, for making a call that saved 7 lives. That was wrong. We're correcting it. How? Full reinstatement, honorable discharge, back pay, and an offer to serve as a senior instructor at the Defense Medical Training Center. Mara's heart pounds. Why now? Because the world needs people like you, people who make the hard calls, who don't back down. He taps the folder. This is your chance to finish what you started. She picks up the folder, opens it, reads the first page. It's everything she lost, everything she thought she'd never get back. I don't know if I'm ready, she says quietly. You saved 9 soldiers 2 weeks ago. You stopped a corrupt cop. You took on a system and won. Briggs meets her eyes. You're more than ready. She closes the folder. Can I think about it? Take all the time you need. He walks to the door, pauses. For what it's worth, Mara, I'm proud of you. Williams would be too. He leaves. Mara stands alone in her apartment, holding the folder, staring at nothing. Williams. The name she can't escape. The ghost she carries. The reason she ran in the first place. She opens the folder again, flips through the pages, sees her old rank, her old title. Captain Mara Kincaid. Combat medic. Phantom Company. A name she thought she'd buried. A name that refuses to stay dead. Her phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. You destroyed my life. Now I'm going to destroy yours. No signature. But she knows who sent it. Someone connected to Roe, or Brennan, or one of the others. Someone who wants revenge. Mara stares at the message for a long time. Then she deletes it, picks up her keys, and walks out the door. Because whoever sent that message doesn't know who they're dealing with. They think she's afraid. They think she'll run. But Mara Kincaid doesn't run anymore. She fights, and this time she's not fighting alone. The hospital parking garage is nearly empty at this hour. Mara's footsteps echo off concrete as she heads toward her car. The overhead lights flicker, half of them burned out, the other half struggling. She's halfway to her vehicle when she hears it. Another set of footsteps. She stops. Listens. The footsteps stop too. Mara turns slowly. The garage is a maze of shadows and columns. Nothing moves. "I know you're there," she calls out. Silence. Then a figure steps out from behind a van. Male, late 50s, expensive suit. She recognizes him from the news coverage. Harold Finch, the lawyer who tried to bury Laura's case. "Captain Kincaid," his voice echoes. "Working late?" "What do you want, Finch?" He walks closer, hands in his pockets. Casual. Too casual. "Just wanted to have a conversation, off the record." "We have nothing to talk about." "I think we do." He stops about 10 feet away. "You've made quite a mess, you know. Careers destroyed, reputations ruined, all because you couldn't mind your own business." "A woman was being beaten. That made it my business." "One woman. And in saving her, you've hurt dozens of others, officers with families, men who served this city for decades." Mara's jaw tightens. "Men who covered up crimes." "Alleged crimes?" "There's nothing alleged about Marcus Rowe. He's in federal custody." Finch smiles. It doesn't reach his eyes. "For now. But cases like this, they fall apart. Witnesses recant. Evidence gets challenged. And when it does, where does that leave you?" "Is that a threat?" "It's a prediction." He takes another step. "You've become very visible, Captain. Very exposed. That's dangerous for someone with your history." "My history is public record." "Is it? All of it?" He pulls out his phone, scrolls, turns the screen toward her. "Because I found some interesting details. A court-martial that was sealed. Testimony from fellow soldiers claiming you made reckless decisions. That people died because you played favorites." Mara's blood turns cold. That's not what happened. Doesn't matter what happened. Matters what people believe. He pockets the phone. "And if this goes to trial, I'll make sure they believe you're a fraud. A washed-up soldier who got people killed and now pretends to be a hero. Get out of my way." "Or what? You'll assault me too? Add another lawsuit to your collection?" He leans in. "You're playing a game you can't win, Captain. The smart move is to walk away." "I tried that once. Didn't take." "Then you're a fool." Mara steps forward, close enough to see the sweat on his upper lip. "I've been called worse by better people." She walks past him, gets in her car, and drives away. In her rearview mirror, Finch stands under the flickering light, watching. The next morning, Mara arrives at the hospital to find a news van parked outside. Then another. Then 3 more. She parks in the back lot and enters through the service entrance. Simmons is waiting for her inside. "They've been here since 6 a.m., Simmons says. "Asking for you." "What do they want?" "Statements, interviews. One of them offered me $500 for your schedule." Mara almost laughs. "Did you take it?" "Hell no, but I'm reconsidering." They walk toward the ER. A reporter spots them through the glass doors and starts shouting questions. Mara keeps her head down and keeps moving. Inside, the ER is controlled chaos. 3 ambulances arrived overnight. A car accident, a stabbing, and a drug overdose. Dr. Lentz is coordinating, but she looks exhausted. "Kincaid, thank hell," Lentz says when she spots Mara. "I need you on the stabbing victim. 22-year-old male, multiple lacerations to the abdomen and chest." Mara scrubs in and gets to work. The patient is unconscious, bleeding heavily. The wounds are deep but precise, not random. Someone knew what they were doing. "Who brought him in?" Mara asks while prepping the suture kit. "Anonymous call," a resident says. "Dropped at the entrance. Get a police report filed. This wasn't self-defense." She works for 30 minutes, closing wounds, checking for internal bleeding, stabilizing vitals. The patient survives. Barely. When she steps out to wash up, Agent Torres is standing in the hallway. "We need to talk," Torres says. "I'm busy." "Make time." They find an empty conference room. Torres closes the door. "Harold Finch approached you last night," Torres says. "It's not a question." Mara frowns. "How did you know?" Because he approached 3 other witnesses too. Same tactic. Intimidation disguised as friendly advice. He threatened to leak my court-martial records. He can't. They're sealed. He seemed pretty confident. Torres's jaw tightens. He's bluffing, but he's also desperate. The case against Rowe and the others is airtight. Finch knows it, so he's trying to scare people into silence. It's not going to work. I know, but I need you to be careful. These people are backed into a corner. Cornered animals bite. I can handle myself. I'm not worried about you handling yourself. I'm worried about what happens when they stop playing nice. Torres leans against the table. We've intercepted communications. Rowe's people are planning something. We don't know what yet, but it's big. Define big. Big enough that they're calling in favors from outside the department. People with connections. People who don't care about the law. Mara's stomach tightens. You're talking about hired muscle. I'm talking about making you disappear. The room goes quiet. What do you want me to do? Mara asks. Let us put you in protective custody, just until the trial. No. Mara, I said no. I'm not hiding. Not again. Torres exhales slowly. Then at least let us assign you security. Someone watching your apartment, your car. Fine, but I'm not changing my routine. That's exactly what you should be doing. If I change, they win. Mara stands. I've spent 2 years running from ghosts. I'm done. Whatever's coming, I'll face it. Torres watches her for a long moment. You're stubborn as hell. I've been told, son. That afternoon, Mara gets a call from Colonel Briggs. You need to see something, he says. Meet me at the VA hospital in an hour. I'm on shift. This is important. She arrives at the VA to find Briggs waiting in the lobby. He leads her down a corridor to a private room. Inside, a man in his 60s sits in a wheelchair staring out the window. He's thin, frail, with a breathing tube running to an oxygen tank. Mara, Briggs says quietly, this is Sergeant Major Frank Hollis. The name hits her like a punch. Hollis. The soldier she saved in Ramadi. The one who died 2 weeks later from complications. Except he didn't die. I don't understand, Mara says. Hollis turns his wheelchair to face her. His eyes are sharp despite his condition. Captain Kincaid, he says, his voice raspy. Been a long time. They told me you were dead. I was. For about 3 minutes. Then some stubborn medic brought me back. He smiles weakly. That was you. Mara's legs feel unsteady. She sits down hard in the nearest chair. Why didn't anyone tell me? She asks Briggs. Because after you were discharged, the records were classified, Briggs says. The mission you were on, the one where Hollis was injured, it was Black Ops. Officially, it never happened. Williams died on that mission, Mara says quietly. Yes, he did, Hollis says. And that's on me, not you. What? Hollis shifts in his chair. I was team leader. I made the call to split up. Williams took point because I ordered him to. You showed up after the ambush started. By then it was already too late. Mara's hands shake. But I chose who to treat first. I chose you. Because I was the one you could save. Williams was gone before you touched him. You know that. I could have tried, and 7 others would have died. Hollis's voice is firm. You made the right call, Captain. The only call. Then why was I court-martialed? Briggs speaks up. Because someone needed to take the fall for a mission that went sideways. You were convenient, young, expendable. Mara looks at him. Who made that decision? Does it matter? It does to me. Briggs hesitates, then pulls out a folder, hands it to her. Inside is a military tribunal report. The presiding officer's signature at the bottom makes her breath catch. Major General Owen Strickland, the same man who's now running for state governor. He buried you to protect his career, Briggs says, and he's been covering it up ever since. Mara stares at the signature. He's speaking at a veterans fundraiser next week. I know. I'm going. Mara, I'm going, Briggs, and I'm bringing this with me. The fundraiser is held at the Riverside Convention Center. 500 people, press coverage, security everywhere. Mara arrives in her dress uniform, the same one she hasn't worn since her discharge. It still fits, but it feels foreign now, like wearing someone else's skin. She checks in at the registration table. The volunteer looks at her name tag and frowns. Captain Kincaid, you're not on the list. I am now. She walks past before the volunteer can object. Inside, the ballroom is packed. Veterans in uniform, politicians in suits. A stage at the front with a podium and a banner reading, "Honoring Those Who Served." Strickland is in the center of the room, shaking hands, posing for photos. He's older now, gray hair, reading glasses, but the arrogance is the same. Mara waits until he's alone. Then she approaches. "General Strickland." He turns. His smile is automatic, practiced. Then he sees her face, and the smile falters. "Captain Kincaid, you remember me." "Of course. How are you?" "Better than you'll be in about 5 minutes." His eyes narrow. "Is that a threat?" "It's a promise." She pulls out the tribunal report, sets it on the table between them. "You lied. You destroyed my career to save yours, and now I'm going to return the favor." Strickland glances at the report. His jaw tightens. "I don't know what you think you have, but I have proof. Testimony from Sergeant Major Hollis, documentation from the mission, and a recording of you admitting to your chief of staff that you falsified evidence." His face goes pale. "You're bluffing. Try me." He leans in, voice low. "You go public with this, you'll destroy yourself too. Your service record, your reputation, everything." "I've already been destroyed. This is just cleanup." A photographer approaches, camera raised. "General, can we get a shot with T—" "Not now," Strickland snaps. The photographer backs away, confused. Mara picks up the report. "You have 2 choices. You withdraw from the governor's race and issue a public apology for what you did to me and my unit, or I hold a press conference tomorrow and bury you." "You won't. Watch me." She walks away. Behind her, she hears Strickland's phone ring, hears him answer, his voice tight. She's halfway to the exit when applause erupts. Someone's taking the stage. She glances back. It's not Strickland. It's a woman, late 40s, military uniform, a purple heart pinned to her chest. "Good evening," the woman says into the microphone. "My name is Colonel Andrea Hayes. I served under General Strickland in 3 deployments, and I'm here tonight to tell you the truth." The room goes silent. Mara stops walking. "General Strickland is a coward," Hayes continues. "He sacrificed good soldiers to cover his mistakes. He falsified reports. He lied to Congress. And he destroyed careers to protect himself." Gasps ripple through the crowd. Cameras flash. Strickland stands frozen, his face ashen. Hayes pulls out a stack of papers. "I have testimony from 17 officers, documentation spanning 2 decades, and tonight I'm releasing all of it." The room erupts, shouting, questions, security moving in. Mara watches it unfold, her heart pounding. Briggs appears beside her. "You didn't tell me Hayes was involved." "I didn't know." "She's been building this case for years, waiting for the right moment. Why now?" "Because you started the fire," Briggs says, "and she's making sure it burns everything down." But within 24 hours, Strickland withdraws from the governor's race. Within 48, he's under federal investigation. Within a week, he's arrested. The story dominates every news cycle. Military corruption, cover-ups, lives destroyed. And Mara's name is at the center of it all. She's sitting in her apartment watching the news coverage when someone knocks on her door. She checks the peephole. It's Colonel Hayes. Mara opens the door. "Colonel?" "Captain." Hayes steps inside. She looks tired but satisfied. "I wanted to thank you." "For what?" "For not backing down, for standing up when everyone told you to sit down." Hayes hands her an envelope. "This is for you." Inside is a letter from the Department of Defense. Official reinstatement, full rank, honorable discharge status, and an apology. Mara stares at it. "How?" "Strickland's arrest opened up a lot of sealed files, including yours. Once the truth came out, the brass moved fast. They don't want another scandal. So I'm just cleared? Completely. You were right all along." Hayes pauses. "I'm sorry it took this long." Mara sets the letter down. Her hands are shaking, not from fear, from relief. "What happens now?" she asks. "That's up to you. You can go back to the army, or you can stay here. Either way, you're free." Hayes leaves. Mara sits alone, holding the letter. Free. The word feels foreign. The next morning, she walks into Ashford General expecting normalcy. Instead, she finds the entire ER staff waiting for her. Simmons steps forward. We heard? Heard what? About your reinstatement. About Strickland. About everything. Mara looks around. How? Briggs called, told us the whole story. Simmons grins. You're kind of a legend now. I'm really not. Too late. You're stuck with it. Dr. Lentz approaches. Captain Kincaid, I want to formally apologize for doubting you, for not supporting you when it mattered. You supported me when it counted. Eventually. But I should have done it sooner. No one's perfect, Lentz. Lentz almost smiles. No, but you're pretty damn close. The shift begins. Patients arrive. Mara works. The rhythm is familiar now, comforting. At noon, Agent Torres shows up. I have news, Torres says. They find privacy in the break room. Rowe's lawyer tried to cut a deal, Torres says. He wanted reduced charges in exchange for testimony against Brennan and the others. What happened? We told him to go to hell. The evidence against Rowe is ironclad. We don't need his testimony. So the trial proceeds? Next month, and it's going to be public. Every piece of evidence, every witness, everything. Mara exhales slowly. Good. There's something else. Torres pulls out her phone, shows Mara a photo. It's Harold Finch in handcuffs. We arrested him this morning. Witness tampering, obstruction of justice. He's looking at 5 years minimum. Mara stares at the photo. He threatened to destroy me. He tried. He failed. Torres pockets the phone. You won, Mara. Completely. Totally. Undeniably. It doesn't feel like winning. It never does. But it is. That evening, Mara drives to the cemetery. She hasn't been here since the funeral, hasn't been able to face it. But tonight, she needs to. The grave is simple. A white headstone. A name. Dates. PFC David Williams' beloved son and brother. Gone too soon. Mara kneels in the grass, places a hand on the cold stone. I'm sorry, she whispers. I'm sorry I couldn't save you. The wind rustles the trees. Somewhere, a bird calls. They told me I made the right call, that you were already gone, that there was nothing I could do. Her voice cracks. But I still wish I'd tried. Silence. Then from behind her a voice. He wouldn't have wanted you to. Mara turns. A woman stands a few feet away. Mid-20s. She has Williams's eyes. I'm Sarah, David's sister. Mara stands slowly. I know who you are. I've been following your story. Sarah steps closer. David wrote to me about you. Called you the best medic he'd ever seen. Said you saved his life twice before that night. Mara's throat tightens. I should have saved him a third time. You saved 7 others instead. That's what he would have wanted. Sarah's eyes glisten. He always said you taught him that sometimes you can't save everyone. You just have to save who you can. I'm so sorry. I know, but you don't have to be. Sarah reaches out, squeezes Mara's hand. Thank you for trying. Thank you for making his last moments count. She walks away, leaving Mara alone with the grave. Mara stays until the sun sets. Then she drives home. The next week passes in a blur. The trial date is set. Witnesses are prepped. The media frenzy continues. And then, the night before the trial, Mara receives a package. No return address. Just her name on the label. She opens it carefully. Inside is a single photo. It's her, leaving the hospital, taken yesterday, and written on the back in block letters, last warning. Her phone rings. Unknown number. She answers. Captain Kincaid. The voice is distorted. Mechanical. You've made a lot of enemies, but you still have a chance to walk away. Who is this? Someone who knows what's good for you. Drop the testimony. Disappear. Or you won't live to see the verdict. Go to hell. Wrong answer. The line goes dead. Mara immediately calls Torres. I just got a death threat. I'm on my way. Torres arrives with 2 agents. They sweep the apartment, find nothing. The call was routed through 3 countries, one agent says. Untraceable. Torres looks at Mara. We need to move you. Tonight. No. Mara, I'm testifying tomorrow. I'm not running. They will kill you. They can try. Torres's jaw tightens. Then we're staying here, all night, armed. And tomorrow, you're getting a full security detail. Fine. They set up watch. Mara tries to sleep, but can't. At 3 a.m., her phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Check your car. Her blood turns cold. She looks at Torres. Someone's outside. They move fast. Torres and the agents go first, weapons drawn. Mara's car is in the parking lot, undisturbed, except for the envelope tucked under the windshield wiper. Torres opens it carefully. Inside is a single piece of paper, a list of names, soldiers from Phantom Company, and next to each name, an address. Torres's face goes pale. They're threatening your unit. Mara's world tilts. How many are still alive? Torres asks. 12. We need to contact them now. They spend the next hour making calls. Most answer. 3 don't. Mara's hands shake as she dials the 4th number. It rings and rings. Then a voice. Male. Groggy. Kincaid? That you? Relief floods her. Hayes, are you okay? Yeah, why? Someone's targeting Phantom Company. Lock your doors. Don't answer for anyone you don't know. What the hell is going on? I'll explain later. Just stay safe. She hangs up. Torres is already coordinating with local police, getting units dispatched to each address. This is escalating fast, Torres says. They're trying to scare me into silence. Is it working? Mara meets her eyes. What do you think? The trial begins at 9 a.m. The courthouse is surrounded by protesters, half supporting Roe, half demanding justice. Mara walks through the crowd with a phalanx of federal agents. Reporters shout questions. Cameras flash. Inside, the courtroom is packed. Marcus Rowe sits at the defense table in a suit, looking smaller than Mara remembers. His eyes find hers across the room. He doesn't look away. Neither does she. The judge enters. Everyone rises. Be seated. The prosecution calls its first witness, Laura Rowe. She walks to the stand, sworn in, and sits. For the next hour, she tells her story. Every detail, every bruise, every threat. Rowe's lawyer tries to discredit her, fails. The prosecution calls its second witness, Mara Kincaid. She walks to the stand, sworn in, sits. The prosecutor approaches. Captain Kincaid, can you describe the injuries you observed on Laura Rowe the night she was admitted? Mara speaks clearly, precisely, clinically. She describes the fractures, the defensive wounds, the pattern of abuse. Rowe's lawyer objects twice, overruled both times. Then it's his turn to cross-examine. Captain Kincaid, isn't it true that you have a history of making questionable decisions under pressure? Objection, the prosecutor says. Sustained. The lawyer tries again. Isn't it true you were dishonorably discharged from the military? That discharge was overturned last week. Murmurs ripple through the courtroom. And isn't it true you were court-martialed for negligence? Objection. Relevance? Your Honor, it goes to credibility. The judge considers. I'll allow it. Answer the question, Captain. Mara looks at the lawyer. I was court-martialed because a superior officer needed someone to blame for his mistakes. That court-martial has since been vacated. My record is clean. The lawyer's face reddens. No further questions. Mara steps down. The trial continues for 3 days. Witnesses, evidence, testimony, and then closing arguments. The jury deliberates for 6 hours. When they return, the courtroom holds its breath. Has the jury reached a verdict? We have, Your Honor. On the charge of aggravated assault, how do you find? Guilty. On the charge of witness intimidation? Guilty. On the charge of official misconduct? Guilty. The room erupts. Rowe slumps in his chair. Laura sobs quietly. Mara sits perfectly still. It's over. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarm. Captain Kincaid, how do you feel? Vindicated. What's next for you? I'm going back to work. Will you accept the Army's offer to return? She pauses, looks at the cameras. I already have everything I need right here. She walks away. That night, Mara sits in her apartment, quiet, alone. Her phone buzzes, a text from Simmons. Drinks tomorrow? We're celebrating. She smiles. I'll be there. Another text. From Colonel Hayes. You did good, Captain. Phantom Company is proud. Then one from Briggs. Told you justice would come. Glad you stuck around to see it. And finally, one from Torres. Rose's sentencing is in 2 weeks, 25 to life. No paroles. You won. Mara sets the phone down, looks around her apartment. For the first time in years, it feels like home. But at 3 a.m., her phone rings. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. Then she does. Kincaid. Silence. Then a voice. Familiar. Impossible. Captain? It's Williams. Her heart stops. That's not funny. It's not a joke. It's me. Williams is dead. I was there. You were. But I wasn't. Not really. A pause. I need your help, Captain, and I don't have much time. The line goes dead. Mara sits frozen, staring at her phone. It's impossible. Williams died 2 years ago. But that voice, she'd know it anywhere. She grabs her keys and runs. The address comes through text 30 seconds after the call drops. An industrial area near the port. Warehouses and shipping containers. The kind of place people go when they don't want to be found. Mara drives faster than she should. Her mind is racing. Williams is dead. She saw the body bag, signed the paperwork, attended the memorial. But that voice, she'd know it anywhere. The GPS leads her to a cluster of abandoned warehouses, rust and graffiti, broken windows, no lights except the dim glow of street lamps 2 blocks away. She parks and gets out. The air smells like salt and oil. Williams, she calls. Nothing. She walks toward the largest warehouse. The door is ajar. She pushes it open slowly. Inside, the space is cavernous, empty except for scattered debris and a single figure standing in the center under a shaft of moonlight from a broken skylight. He's thinner than she remembers, beard grown out, scar across his neck that wasn't there before. But the eyes are the same. Hello, Captain. Mara's breath catches. How? Long story. I've got time. William steps forward. He's limping. The report said I died from blood loss. That wasn't wrong. I flatlined twice on the medevac, but they got me to a field hospital, kept me alive long enough to stabilize. Then why didn't anyone tell me? Because the mission was black ops. When it went sideways, they needed it to disappear. That included survivors. He stops a few feet away. They gave me a choice. New identity, medical discharge, a life somewhere quiet, or go public and risk everyone who was there. So you chose to disappear. I chose to protect the team, you included. Mara's hands curl into fists. I spent 2 years thinking you were dead because of me. I know, and I'm sorry. His voice cracks. But if I'd come forward, they would have dragged you through hell, court-martialed you, destroyed you. I couldn't let that happen. They did it anyway, and now you're free. Because the truth came out, because you fought for it. He smiles weakly. I've been watching, Captain. Everything you did. Taking down Rowe, standing up to Strickland. You didn't need me. You never did. Then why call me now? His expression darkens. Because someone from the old unit is in trouble. Someone who doesn't deserve what's coming. Who? Corporal Danny Reeves. You remember him? She does. Young, eager, good with explosives. What happened? He witnessed something he shouldn't have. Military contractors moving weapons illegally. He reported it. Now they're trying to silence him. Where is he? Safe house, but not for long. They've got people inside law enforcement, inside the military. He reached out to me because he didn't know who else to trust. Mara's jaw tightens. What do you need from me? Help getting him out and help exposing the people hunting him. I'm a medic, Williams, not a soldier anymore. You're both. You've always been both. He pulls out a phone, shows her a photo. Reeves, looking terrified, holding today's newspaper. He's got evidence, documents, recordings, enough to bring down half a dozen contractors and the officials protecting them. Then why not go to the FBI? Because the FBI has leaks. Torres is solid, but her agency isn't. One wrong move and Reeves disappears permanently. Mara looks at the photo, at Reeves's face. He's barely 25 now, still a kid. Where is he? Williams hands her a slip of paper, an address across town. He's there now, but they'll find him by morning. We move tonight or we don't move at all. We? I'm not letting you do this alone. You're not exactly in fighting shape. He grins. Neither are you. We'll figure it out. Oh, the safe house is a rundown motel on the edge of the city. 3rd floor. Room 314. Williams parks 2 blocks away and they approach on foot. How do you know they haven't found him already? Mara asks. Because he's still sending me updates every 30 minutes. Last one came through 5 minutes ago. They climb the exterior stairs. The hallway smells like mildew and cigarettes. Williams knocks on the door in a pattern. 3 short, 2 long. The door cracks open. A chain lock still engaged. Reeves's face appears in the gap. Captain Kincaid? His voice is shaky. Open up, Reeves. He does. The room is small. 1 bed, a duffel bag on the floor, a laptop open on the desk showing surveillance footage. They're close, Reeves says, pointing at the screen. 2 cars, circling the area. They know I'm here. How long? Maybe 20 minutes, maybe less. Mara looks at Williams. We need to move him now. Agreed, but we need the evidence first. Reeves grabs a flash drive from the laptop. It's all here. Shipment manifests, wire transfers, audio recordings of planning sessions. Who's running the operation? Mara asks. A private contractor called Sentinel Defense. They've been moving weapons to non-state actors for years, millions in illegal arms deals. He hands her the drive. This proves it. Then let's get it to someone who can use it. Williams moves to the window, peers through the blinds. We've got company. Black SUV. 2 men getting out. Mara's pulse quickens. Back exit? Fire escape. But it's rusted to hell. Might not hold. It'll have to. They grab Reeves's duffel and move fast. Williams leads. Mara stays with Reeves. They're halfway down the fire escape when the metal groans. Don't stop, Mara says. Keep moving. The bottom section of the ladder is broken off. They jump the last 8 feet. Mara lands hard, pain shooting through her ankle. She ignores it. This way, Williams says, heading toward the alley. Behind them, shouting. Footsteps on the fire escape. They run. The alley spills onto a side street. Williams's car is still 2 blocks away. Too far. In here, Mara says, pulling them into a 24-hour laundromat. Bright lights, a few people folding clothes. They blend in, heads down. Through the window, the SUV rolls past slowly. Mara holds her breath. It keeps going. We've got maybe 5 minutes before they circle back, Williams says. Reeves is shaking. They're going to kill me. Not if we get you somewhere safe first. Where? They've got connections everywhere. Mara pulls out her phone, dials Torres. Kincaid? It's 4 a.m. I need a favor, a big one. I'm listening. I've got a witness. Military contractor corruption. He's got evidence, but people are trying to kill him. Where are you? East side, near the port. Stay there. I'm sending a team. How long? 15 minutes. We might not have that. Then stay out of sight. I'm on my way personally. Mara hangs up, looks at Williams. FBI's coming. We just need to stay alive until they get here. No problem, Williams says dryly. I've had worse odds. They slip out the back of the laundromat and move through a series of alleys. Reeves stays between them. The city is quiet at this hour. Just distant sirens and the hum of traffic on the highway. They're crossing a parking lot when headlights flood the area. The SUV. Run, Mara says. They sprint toward a warehouse. The door is locked. Williams kicks it. Once, twice. It splinters open. Inside, it's dark. Shelves stacked with pallets. Forklifts parked in rows. Find cover, Mara orders. They duck behind a stack of crates just as the SUV pulls up outside. Doors open. Voices. They went in here. Spread out. Find them. Footsteps echo through the warehouse. Mara's hand finds Reeves's shoulder. She squeezes. Stay quiet. Williams is already moving, circling around, using the shadows. A flashlight beam sweeps past their hiding spot. Mara holds her breath. The beam moves on. Then Williams's voice cuts through the darkness. Over here. The footsteps change direction, head toward him. Mara realizes what he's doing, drawing them away. No, she whispers. But it's too late. Gunfire erupts. 3 shots. Muzzle flashes in the dark. Then silence. Mara's heart pounds. She wants to move, to help. But Reeves is her priority. Stay here, she whispers. She moves low and fast, reaches the area where the shots came from. Williams is on the ground, bleeding from his side. 2 men stand over him, guns raised. Mara doesn't think. She grabs a steel pipe from a nearby shelf and swings. The first man goes down hard. The second spins, raises his weapon. Mara ducks. The shot goes wide. She drives the pipe into his knee. He screams, drops the gun. She picks it up, points it at both men. Don't move. Williams groans. Took you long enough. You're an idiot. Yeah, but I'm alive. Mara kneels beside him. The wound is bad, but not fatal. She rips a piece of fabric from her shirt and presses it against the bleeding. You're going to be okay. I know. You're here. Sirens wail outside, close now. Federal agents pour into the warehouse. Torres is with them. Kincaid. Here. Torres spots them. Radios for a medic. Agents secure the 2 gunmen. You okay? Torres asks. I've had better nights. Torres looks at Williams. Who's this? Someone who's supposed to be dead. Williams manages a weak grin. Surprise. 2 hours later, they're at the hospital. Williams is in surgery. Reeves is in protective custody, and Mara is giving her statement to Torres in a conference room. Sentinel defense, Torres says, reviewing the flash drive contents. This is huge. We're talking federal charges, RICO violations, arms trafficking. How many people are going down? Dozens, maybe more. Torres looks at her. You just cracked open one of the biggest corruption cases in military contractor history. Reeves did that. I just kept him alive. You did more than that. Torres closes the laptop. You gave him a chance to do the right thing. That's not nothing. It's not enough. It never is. But it's something. Mara stands. I need to check on Williams. Go. We'll finish this later. Williams is out of surgery by noon. The doctor says he'll make a full recovery. Mara sits by his bed. He's groggy, but awake. You saved my life, he says. We're even now. Not even close. He reaches for her hand. I'm sorry I let you think I was dead. I'm sorry I wasn't there when they went after you. You're here now. That's what matters. What happens next? You rest, you heal, and then you figure out who you want to be now that you're not dead. He laughs. It turns into a cough. Any suggestions? Be honest. Be present. Don't run from the hard stuff. Sounds like advice you should take yourself. She almost smiles. I'm working on it, but the next week is a whirlwind. Sentinel defense executives are arrested. Military officials are suspended. The media runs wall-to-wall coverage. And Mara's name is everywhere again. But this time it's different. This time she's not a victim or a whistleblower. She's a hero. The hospital offers her a permanent position as Chief of Trauma Services. She accepts. Colonel Briggs offers her a teaching role at the military academy. She accepts that too. And Agent Torres offers her a consulting position with the FBI on cases involving veteran witnesses. She accepts all of it, because for the first time she's not choosing between who she was and who she is. She's both. Son. 3 months later, Mara stands in front of a crowd at the Ashford Convention Center. 500 people. Veterans, medical professionals, students, press. She's giving the keynote address at a trauma medicine conference. I spent 2 years running from my past, she begins, from mistakes I thought defined me, from choices I couldn't take back. I thought if I stayed quiet, stayed invisible, I could escape it. She pauses, looks out at the faces. I was wrong. You can't escape your past, but you can choose what you do with it. Applause ripples through the crowd. I made a call once, a terrible call. I chose one life over another, and for a long time I thought that made me a failure. But someone recently reminded me that making hard choices doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. She sees Simmons in the front row, Lentz beside her. Williams is there too, healed now, smiling. We're all going to face moments where there's no right answer, where we have to choose. And we're going to live with those choices for the rest of our lives. Her voice strengthens. But we don't have to let them destroy us. We can let them teach us, make us better, make us fight harder for the ones we can save. The applause grows louder. I'm not here to tell you how to be perfect. I'm here to tell you that you don't have to be. You just have to keep showing up, keep fighting, keep saving who you can. She steps back from the podium. The room erupts. After the speech, she's surrounded by people, questions, congratulations, requests for photos. She handles it with more grace than she expected. When the crowd finally thins, Colonel Hayes approaches. Hell of a speech, Captain. Thanks. I meant what I said before. Phantom Company is proud. I hope so. Hayes hands her an envelope. One more thing. This came through official channels. Thought you'd want to see it. Inside is a letter from the Department of Defense, a formal commendation, and an invitation to speak at the annual Veterans Day ceremony in Washington. They want you to represent combat medics, Hayes says. All of them, past and present. Mara stares at the letter. I don't know if I'm ready for that. You're more than ready. You've earned it. She folds the letter carefully. I'll think about it. Do more than think. Say yes. Hayes walks away. Mara stands alone for a moment, holding the letter. Then Simmons appears. There's someone here to see you. Who? She said her name is Laura. Mara's heart skips. Laura Rose stands near the entrance. She looks different, stronger, hair cut short, new clothes, confidence in her posture that wasn't there before. Laura. Captain Kincaid, I hope it's okay that I came. Of course, how are you? Good, really good, actually. Laura smiles. I started my new job. The boys are doing great. We have a place of our own. That's wonderful. I wanted to thank you, in person, for everything. You don't have to. I do. Laura's eyes glisten. You gave me my life back, and I'm not wasting it. Mara's throat tightens. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you too. Laura pulls out a folded piece of paper. I wrote this. I'd like you to have it. Mara unfolds it. It's a letter, handwritten. To the woman who saved my life, not just that night, but every night since. You showed me what strength looks like, what courage looks like, and now I'm showing my sons. Thank you for refusing to give up on me when I'd given up on myself. You're my hero. Laura Mara's vision blurs. Thank you, she whispers. Laura hugs her, brief but tight. Then she leaves. That night, Mara sits in her apartment. The letter from Laura is on the table, the commendation from the DoD beside it, the folder from Briggs with the Army reinstatement paperwork, evidence of a life rebuilt. Her phone buzzes. A group text from Phantom Company survivors. Hayes. Heard your speech. Damn proud, Captain. Reeves. You're a legend. Thanks for saving my life. Again. Hollis. Drinks on me next time you're in town. She smiles, types back. I'll hold you to that. Another message. From Williams. You were right. Being honest is hard, but it's worth it. Thanks for reminding me. She replies. Anytime. One more message. Unknown number. She almost deletes it. Then she opens it. This is Sarah, David's sister. I was at your speech today. He would have been so proud. Thank you for honoring his memory by living the way you do. Mara sets the phone down, closes her eyes. And for the first time in 2 years, she doesn't see Williams's body bag. She sees his face, smiling. 6 months later. Mara stands on stage in Washington, D.C., The National Mall stretches out before her, thousands of people, veterans and families, active duty and retired. The vice president introduces her. Captain Mara Kincaid, combat medic, 6 deployments, Silver Star recipient, and a woman who refused to let the system break her. Mara steps to the podium. The crowd is silent. I don't stand here today because I'm special, she begins. I stand here because I'm stubborn. Because when they told me to stay quiet, I didn't. When they told me to give up, I refused. Her voice carries across the mall. I stand here for every medic who held pressure on a wound they knew wouldn't close, for every soldier who made an impossible choice, for every person who got knocked down and got back up. She pauses. We don't get to choose the battles we fight, but we get to choose how we fight them, with honor, with integrity, and with the knowledge that even when we can't save everyone, we save who we can. The crowd erupts. Mara steps back, salutes. 5,000 people salute back. After the ceremony, she walks through Arlington National Cemetery. The rows of white headstones stretch endlessly. She finds William's grave, the one that was supposed to hold his body. She kneels. I did it, she whispers. I stopped running. I stopped hiding, and I'm still standing. The wind rustles the trees. You were right. I didn't need you to save me, but I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad I got to tell you that. She places a hand on the headstone. Rest easy, David. I've got it from here. She stands, walks away, head high. 1 year later, Ashford General's Trauma Center is the top-rated facility in the region. 0 preventable deaths in 12 months. Awards from every major medical organization, and at the center of it all, Captain Mara Kincaid. She's in the ER when the call comes in. Mass casualty, factory explosion, 12 victims incoming. Here we go, Simmons says. Mara scrubs in. The doors burst open. Gurneys flood the room. Triage stations, she calls. Move! The team responds instantly. Organized, efficient, trained. Mara moves from patient to patient, reading wounds, calling orders, saving lives. This is who she is. This is what she does. And she's damn good at it. By the end of the shift, all 12 patients are stable. 0 deaths. Dr. Lentz finds her in the break room. Another perfect save rate. Team effort. Led by you. Lentz sits down. You know the board wants to name the trauma wing after you. Absolutely not. Why? Because this isn't about me. It's about every person who walks through those doors and gets a second chance. Lentz smiles. You're impossible. I've been told. That evening, Mara drives to the Veterans Center. She teaches a class on emergency medicine to former combat medics transitioning to civilian healthcare. 20 students, all of them looking at her like she's something more than human. You're not here to be perfect, she tells them. You're here to be present, to show up, to do the work even when it's hard. A hand goes up, a young woman, early 20s. What if we make a mistake? You will, Mara says. We all do. But a mistake doesn't define you. What you do after does. How do you live with it? You don't live with it. You learn from it. You let it make you better. And you keep going. The class ends, students file out. The young woman lingers. Captain Kincaid? Yes? I heard about what happened to you, the court-martial, the discharge. And I wanted to say thank you for not giving up, for showing us that we can come back from anything. Mara's chest tightens. What's your name? Corporal Lisa Tran. Well, Corporal Tran, you're going to do great things. I can tell. Tran smiles. I hope so. I know so. Want. Late that night, Mara sits on her balcony. The city lights spread out before her, peaceful, quiet. Her phone buzzes. A video message from Reeves. He's standing in front of a building with a sign. Reeves Foundation for Military Accountability. Captain, wanted you to see this. We're officially open, using the evidence to help other whistleblowers, making sure people like us don't get silenced. He grins. None of this happens without you. Thank you. The video ends. Mara smiles. Another message from Williams. A photo. Him in a classroom, teaching. The whiteboard behind him reads Tactical Medicine 101. The caption, "Turns out I'm good at this teaching thing. Who knew?" She replies, "I did." One more message from Torres, Sentinel case wrapped. 43 convictions, 15 still ongoing, justice served. Drinks to celebrate? Mara types back. Name the time and place. She sets the phone down, looks out at the city. 2 years ago, she was broken, running, hiding from a past she thought would destroy her. Today, she's whole. Not perfect, not without scars, but whole. She built a life from the ashes, saved lives, changed lives. And she did it by refusing to stay down. The people who tried to break her, Strickland, Rowe, Brennan, Finch, they're gone now. Disgraced, imprisoned, forgotten. But she's still here, still fighting, still saving who she can. And that's all that matters. The following week, Mara receives an unexpected visitor at the hospital. Eleanor Cross, the hospital board chair, walks into her office unannounced. "Captain Kincaid, do you have a moment?" Mara looks up from her paperwork. "Mrs. Cross, what can I do for you?" Cross sits down without being invited. She looks older than Mara remembers. Tired. "I owe you more than an apology," Cross says. "I owe you the truth." Mara sets down her pen. "I'm listening. When we suspended you, it wasn't just political pressure, it was personal cowardice." Cross's hands shake slightly. "My daughter was in an abusive marriage. For years. I knew about it, did nothing, told myself it wasn't my place to interfere." Mara's expression softens. "When you stood up for Laura Rowe, when you refused to back down, it forced me to confront what I'd failed to do for my own child." Cross's voice cracks. "She finally left him 2 months ago because she saw what you did, saw that someone actually gave a damn." "Mrs. Cross, let me finish." Cross pulls out an envelope. "This is my resignation from the board, effective immediately. I'm stepping down to work full-time with domestic violence organizations, making sure other women get the help my daughter should have had years ago." She stands. "You didn't just save Laura. You saved my daughter too, and probably dozens of others we'll never know about." Cross extends her hand. "Thank you, Captain, for having the courage I didn't." Mara shakes her hand. "Your daughter is lucky to have you fighting for her now." "I'm the lucky one. She's still alive to fight for." Cross leaves. Mara sits alone in her office, staring at the resignation letter. One more life changed. One more person finding their way back to what matters. 3 years after the night that changed everything, Captain Mara Kincaid stands in front of a graduating class of combat medics at the military academy. The auditorium is packed. Students in dress uniforms, parents and families in the balcony, instructors lining the walls. Colonel Briggs introduces her. Captain Kincaid needs no introduction. Her record speaks for itself. But more importantly, her actions speak louder than any medal or commendation ever could. He steps aside. Mara takes the podium. "You're about to enter a world where the stakes are life and death," she begins. "Where you'll make choices no one should have to make. Where you'll save some and lose others." The room is silent. "And when you lose someone, it will hurt. It will haunt you. It will make you question everything." She pauses. "But don't let it break you. Let it build you. Let it remind you why you're here, why you chose this path." Her voice strengthens. "You're not here to be heroes. You're here to be human. To show up when it's hard. To fight when it's impossible. To save who you can and honor the ones you can't." She looks out at their faces. Young, determined, scared, just like she was. "The world will knock you down. People will doubt you. Systems will fail you. But if you keep getting back up, if you keep fighting, if you refuse to quit, you win." She lets the words settle. "I was court-martialed, dishonorably discharged, told I was a failure. And for a long time I believed it. I let other people define who I was, what I was worth." Her voice drops. "Don't make that mistake. You define yourself by your actions, by your choices, by what you do when everything falls apart." She straightens. "Some of you will make calls that haunt you for the rest of your lives. You'll choose who lives and who doesn't, and you'll carry that weight forever." The room is completely still. "But here's what I learned. That weight doesn't make you weak. It makes you real. It means you care. It means you understand what's at stake." Her eyes sweep the room. So carry it. Let it make you better. Let it drive you to save the next one. And the one after that. And the one after that. She steps back from the podium. Don't run from the hard stuff. Face it. Own it. Learn from it. Because that's how you become more than just a medic. That's how you become someone who actually makes a difference. The applause starts slowly, then builds, then becomes deafening. Students stand, parents stand, instructors stand. A standing ovation that lasts 3 full minutes. Mara stands at attention, salutes. The entire room salutes back. After the ceremony, students swarm her. Questions about technique, about field medicine, about how to handle the pressure. She answers each one patiently. A young cadet approaches. Male. Couldn't be older than 20. Captain Kincaid. Yes? I just wanted to say, my brother was in Phantom Company. He died in Ramadi. Mara's chest tightens. What was his name? Specialist Marcus Webb. She remembers. Explosion. Shrapnel. He bled out before they could get him stabilized. I'm sorry, she says quietly. Don't be. He wrote to me before he died. Said you were the best medic he'd ever seen. Said if anyone could save him, it was you. The cadet's eyes glisten. He also said sometimes people are just too far gone, that it's not the medic's fault. Mara can barely breathe. He wanted me to tell you that. If I ever met you. The cadet swallows hard. So I'm telling you, it wasn't your fault, Captain. None of it was. He salutes and walks away before she can respond. Mara stands frozen. Then she feels a hand on her shoulder. Williams. You okay? No, but I will be. He nods. Come on, there's someone else who wants to meet you. He leads her outside to the parade ground. A woman in her 60s waits there, military bearing despite civilian clothes. Captain Kincaid, this is General Rachel Morrison, retired. Morrison extends her hand. Captain, I've been following your career. Ma'am, I commanded the medical corps during your deployments. I signed off on your court-martial. Mara stiffens. I was wrong, Morrison says bluntly. I let politics override my judgment, and I've regretted it every day since. Why are you telling me this? Because I'm trying to fix it. She pulls out a folder. I've spent the last year compiling testimony from every member of Phantom Company, every mission you ran, every life you saved, every impossible call you made. She hands the folder to Mara. This is going into the official record, your record, so that anyone who looks you up won't see a dishonorable discharge. They'll see what you really are. Mara opens the folder. Page after page of commendations, witness statements, mission reports, all of it glowing, all of it true. Why now? Mara asks. Because you proved me wrong. You didn't let what happened define you. You didn't quit. You didn't hide. Morrison's voice softens. You showed everyone what real courage looks like, and I wanted to make sure history reflects that. She salutes. Mara returns it. Morrison walks away. Williams watches her go. You're officially a legend now. How's it feel? Weird. Get used to it. Chalk. That evening, Mara returns to Ashford General for her shift. The ER is quiet. A rarity. Simmons hands her a cup of coffee. Heard your speech went well. It was fine. Just fine? I heard you got a standing ovation. People are easily impressed. Simmons laughs. You're terrible at accepting compliments. I know. They sit in the break room. Comfortable silence. Then Simmons says, I got offered a job. Head nurse at County General. Better pay. Better hours. Mara's stomach drops. Are you taking it? I don't know. Part of me wants to, but part of me feels like I'd be abandoning what we built here. You're not abandoning anything. You're growing. That's different. Simmons looks at her. What would you do? I'd take the job, and I'd come back here every so often to remind us all why we do this. Simmons smiles. You're going to be okay without me? No, but I'll manage. Liar. Fine. I'll be a disaster. Happy? Simmons laughs. Very. An alarm sounds. Multiple casualties incoming. Car accident on the highway. Here we go, Mara says. They move together. One last time. The doors burst open. 4 patients. 2 critical. Mara and Simmons work in perfect sync. Years of partnership condensed into effortless coordination. They save all 4. Afterwards, Simmons finds Mara in the hallway. I'm going to miss this. Me too. But you're right. It's time to grow. You're going to do great things there. Because of what you taught me. Mara shakes her head. I didn't teach you anything. I just gave you space to be who you already were. Simmons hugs her, hard. Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Simmons. 2 months later, Mara stands at the entrance to the newly renovated trauma wing at Ashford General. The sign above the door reads, The Phantom Wing, in honor of those who serve in silence. Despite her protests, they named it anyway. Not after her specifically, but after everyone who ever did the work without recognition. She can live with that. The wing is state-of-the-art. 12 trauma bays, 2 operating rooms, equipment that rivals any military field hospital. Doctor, Lentz stands beside her. You built this, you know. We built this. No, you started it. The rest of us just followed. The first patient arrives. Motorcycle accident, severe head trauma. Mara moves without hesitation. This is home. This is purpose. This is everything she almost lost. Late that night, Mara drives to the cemetery one last time. Williams's empty grave, the marker that stands for everyone lost. She kneels. I'm letting you go now, she whispers. Not forgetting. Never forgetting, but I can't carry you anymore. It's too heavy. The wind picks up. You'd be proud of what we've built. All of us. The ones who made it back. We're not just surviving anymore, we're actually living. She stands, places her hand on the stone one last time. Thank you for teaching me what it means to fight. Now I'm going to teach others. She walks away, doesn't look back. 6 months later, Mara sits in her office reviewing applications for the new combat medic mentorship program she created. 50 applicants, all veterans, all struggling to transition. She's going to accept them all. A knock on the door. Come in. Agent Torres enters. Got a minute? For you? Always. Torres sits. I have a proposition. The Bureau is creating a task force. Veterans helping veterans, investigating crimes targeting military families. We want you to consult. I already consult. This is different. This is full-time. Badge, authority, real power to make change. Mara considers it. I'd have to leave the hospital. Not entirely. Part-time here. Part-time with us. Hybrid role. Why me? Because you understand what they're going through. Because you've been where they are. Because you don't give up. Torres leans forward. Because we need people who actually give a damn. And you're the best I've got. Mara looks at the applications on her desk. At the photo of Phantom Company on her wall. At the life she's built from nothing. I'll do it. On one condition. Name it. Any veteran we help gets connected to resources. Real resources. Jobs, housing, mental health support. Not just justice. Done. They shake hands. Welcome to the team, Captain. 1 year later, Mara stands in front of Congress, testifying about veteran care, about systemic failures, about what actually works. Senators ask questions. She answers bluntly. Doesn't sugarcoat, doesn't play politics. The system is broken, she says into the microphone, and it's been broken for decades. We send people to war, break them, bring them home, and abandon them. A senator interrupts. That's a serious accusation. It's a factual statement. 22 veterans die by suicide every day. Thousands are homeless. More are unemployed. That's not support. That's abandonment. What would you have us do? Fund programs that work, cut bureaucracy, listen to veterans instead of talking at them. Her voice hardens. And stop using us as political props while doing nothing to actually help. The room goes silent. Then scattered applause from the gallery, from other veterans watching. The hearing ends. Outside, reporters swarm. Captain Kincaid, do you think Congress will act? I think they'll do what they always do, make promises, form committees, and hope we forget. Will you forget? Not a chance. She walks away. Shit. That evening, she returns to Ashford. The Phantom Wing is busier than ever. Dr. Lentz meets her at the entrance. Heard you tore Congress a new one. Someone had to. You're going to make powerful enemies. I've made worse. They walk through the wing together, patients recovering, families waiting, life continuing. You know what I realized? Lentz says. What? You're not fighting for recognition anymore. You're fighting because you can't help yourself. Mara smiles. Is that a compliment? It's an observation. I'll take it. 2 years after the night that changed everything, Captain Mara Kincaid receives the Medal of Freedom at the White House. She stands in dress uniform as the president drapes the medal around her neck. For extraordinary service to the nation, for courage under fire, for refusing to let injustice stand. The crowd applauds. Mara doesn't smile, doesn't wave, just stands at attention. Afterward, at the reception, people approach with congratulations. She's polite, gracious, but distant. Williams finds her on a balcony, looking out at the city. You okay? I don't belong here. You earned it. People died so I could stand here. That doesn't feel like winning. Williams is quiet for a moment. They didn't die so you could stand here. They died doing what they believed in, and now you're making sure others don't have to. She looks at him. When did you get wise? Someone taught me. She almost smiles. They stand together in silence. Then Williams says, I'm getting married. Mara blinks. What? Met someone, teacher. She's patient with my bullshit. Wants me despite all of it. Williams, that's amazing. I want you there, at the wedding. I wouldn't miss it. He grins. Good, because you're giving me away. That's not how it works. It is now. 3 months later, Mara stands beside Williams at a small chapel. 20 people. Close friends and family. The ceremony is simple. Beautiful. When the officiant asks who gives this man, Mara says, I do. Everyone laughs. Williams squeezes her hand. Thank you for everything. Thank you for coming back. Always. It's 4 years after that first night in the ER, Mara Kincaid finally rests. Not quits. Not retires. Rests. She's built something sustainable. Something that will outlast her. The Phantom Wing saves hundreds of lives every year. The Veteran Mentorship Program has placed over 200 veterans in medical careers. The FBI task force has helped thousands of military families. And Captain Mara Kincaid? She's exactly where she's supposed to be, teaching, healing, fighting, not for recognition, not for redemption, but because it's who she is, and she's finally okay with that. On a quiet Tuesday evening, Mara sits on her balcony. The city lights spread before her like constellations. Her phone buzzes. A text from Corporal Tran. Just saved my first life. Used everything you taught me. Thank you, Captain. Mara smiles. Types back. Proud of you. Now save another. Another message. From Laura. My oldest son just got accepted to medical school. He wants to be a trauma surgeon because of you. Mara's chest swells. He's going to be amazing. One more message. From a number she doesn't recognize. This is Private James Hollis, Jr. You saved my dad's life in Ramadi. I just enlisted. Becoming a medic. Because of you. Mara stares at the message. The cycle continues. One generation teaching the next. One life saving another. One person refusing to quit inspiring hundreds to keep fighting. This is her legacy. Not medals, not speeches, not recognition. Lives saved. Lives changed. Lives given purpose. She sets the phone down, looks out at the city, and she knows deep in her soul that every terrible moment, every impossible choice, every sleepless night, it all mattered. Not because she's special, but because she refused to let it break her. She turned pain into purpose, failure into fuel, silence into strength. The quiet nurse they tried to throw out became the voice that changed an entire system. The broken soldier became the teacher who saves generations. The woman they silenced became the one who refuses to let others suffer in silence. Captain Mara Kincaid, Phantom, found her way home, not by running from the past, but by standing on it. Using every scar, every mistake, every loss to build something bigger than herself. And as she sits in the quiet of her balcony, watching the city breathe, she finally understands. She was never broken. She was being forged. And the woman who emerged from that fire? She's unstoppable.